This is a Miami Sports Music Podcast Network production. This is the #1 Miami fan morning show. Clock Blockers, let's go.
I know the whole city riding. A little early, it's a bit surprising. Business moves, now we enterprising. Switch it up, now we improvising. Go to get in the winter college.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Stephen D. Super excited to be hanging out with y'all today on this Hangover Monday. I call it a Hangover Monday because we got drunk on a lot of football this year, and it's over. And, man, it's sad. I'm a little sad about it. It's the Monday after the Super Bowl. It's February 13th, 2023. I am your host, Stephen D. Good morning to my families with a PH and my Finlaw. Super excited to be hanging out with you. You can follow me on all social media at Stephen D. SKPL. Spread kindness, positivity, and love. Make sure you guys do that. Make sure you all go do that. Hit me up. Follow me at Stephen D. SKPL. Spread kindness, positivity, and love. Make sure y'all do that. Also, hey, look, if you want to follow Miami Sports Music everywhere, make sure you follow them at Miami Sports Music and online on Twitter at MIA Sports Music as well. On your way in, make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Doesn't cost anything. It's free. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all do that this morning. If you guys want to sign up and become a member, become part of the family. Make sure y'all do that. It helps the channel grow. We'd love to see 3 new members of the channel today. If you're not a member already, make sure y'all do that. Sign up, become a member today. I just dropped the link in the chat below. You guys can do that as well. Also, want to remind y'all, too, if y'all want to help the channel grow by donating, there's lots of different ways you can do it. You can use the YouTube Live Super Chat, which is the $ below the bottom of the chat. And you can also use the YouTube Super Thanks, which is the heart with the $ in the middle, if you're watching this on replay. If you are watching us live and you don't use the YouTube Super Chat or Super Thanks, obviously, you guys can use Cash App or PayPal, $MSM Podcast Network, or use the QR code right on your screen, or $MSM Podcast Network. Let me just tell you why this is important. When you guys donate, it goes such a long way into helping the channel grow. I do this. This is part of, my job every day, a little bit of how I provide for the family. And so when you guys donate, even if it's $1, it goes such a long way into helping the channel grow, making sure that I can have content for you on a daily basis, and allow me to do this for y'all on a day in, day out basis, because Clock Blockers is a weekday, every morning thing right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. All right. We do have some sponsors of the show. They help out a little bit, and they were sponsors this year. And I want to give big shout outs to them because football season's over. And so I just want to say thank you to some of these sponsors real quick, because they helped out throughout the entire football year. And, I hope that, our relationship goes deeper into next year. But I know that they helped out big this year, and they were a big part of how we do things around here for this football season. So first up is ZSM Sports. Zachary and ZSM Sports is absolutely amazing. He's going to keep on sticking around. We're really excited about it. Cards, jerseys, balls, and hard-to-find items. They specialize in all sports memorabilia. Zachary's got a really good relationship with a lot of the different players here, and they're just great. They're absolutely amazing. Hey, there we go. Chris Johnson just signed up to become a member. I appreciate it, Chris. Super excited that you're a part of the family. I like it, man. Thank you so much. When you sign up, it's a big deal, and it shows that you care and you love the channel. And so thank you, Chris. I'm happy, man, that you're a part of the family, man. Thank you. Again, ZSM Sports, absolutely amazing. And Zachary's done a lot to help the channel grow this year, and he's been a part of a lot of events. And I hope as he grows with us, and we get to keep that relationship moving. Zachary's a big part of the family, and we love ZSM Sports. Hangry Owls is awesome. Aldo was a listener of the show and has one of the best, if not the best, sub shop in South Florida. Seriously, man, Hangry Owls in Pembroke Pines. Aldo is absolutely amazing, and his sub shop is absolutely amazing. Aldo provided us subs a few different times this year. And I hope what he, was able to provide for us, he got back in tenfold this year from us. And so again, I just want to say thank you to Hangry Owls, you guys. Aldo's just absolutely amazing. He's one of the best human beings on the planet. And if you guys get a chance to go out to Hangry Owls, make sure y'all do that. Go follow him at Hangry Owls Online, HANGRYALS. And I'm telling you, it's not just subs, man. His desserts, the cakes that they have there, mwah, coming from a fat boy, let me tell you, it's good. I do declare that he has some of the best, not only in South Florida, but just on the East Coast, as far as I'm concerned. Just good stuff, man. Vasasaur, we love Vasasaur. They're absolutely amazing. It was fun partnering up with Vasasaur this year. I hope that relationship gets to keep brewing and gets to keep going more. I want to give a big shout out to Pedro, who works for Vasasaur. Just an awesome relationship that we got to have this year. We had a couple different watch parties out there this year, and it was a lot of fun to work with Vasasaur. It was a beer that was created for the fans, by the fans, born and raised. And that's how that relationship kind of culminated and started. But then this year, we got to get on board with them at Miami Sports Music, and it was a beautiful, beautiful relationship, and one that I hope gets to keep going into next year. But no matter what the outcome is, I know that this year was awesome with Vasasaur, and I absolutely loved them, and they were great, man. They were awesome, man. We love it. We love it. A great place to sit.com. A great place to sit.com was awesome, man. Let me tell you, Ticketmaster and, these, and maybe I shouldn't name names, but these other big name places, right? These big name ticket entities, they have service fees. We're just a number to them. Great place to sit literally is absolutely amazing. And they provided us an opportunity for you, the fans, to have obviously tickets aren't cheap, and not every one of you can be season ticket holders. And so a great place to sit.com this year was an awesome place for you to buy tickets to games without paying service fees or anything. And you got a little bit of a discount because we had a relationship with them. And so I just want to say thank you to everybody at a great place to sit.com. You all were absolutely amazing. And it was so fun to be partnered up with you this year. And I hope that maybe next year we can do something even more, but no matter what, this year's relationship was awesome, and I'm grateful to have you guys on board. It was awesome. And then last but certainly not least, and I hope that they stay a part of the show throughout the show's entirety, whatever it is, Tail Greeter. Tail Greeter's awesome. Nick and Pat over at Tail Greeter, thank you, gentlemen, so much for being a part of the show and a part of the growth of this. They have a great app. It's free. Download the app today on your current Apple or Android device. I'll say something nice about Apple. Apple has the Tail Greeter app. And so, yeah, man, Tail Greeter is absolutely amazing, and they're awesome. And I hope that, they pretty much have been a partner of Miami Sports Music Podcast Network since day one. So my hope is that it keeps growing. It keeps getting bigger and better, and we can see that thing grow. So thank you so much to Tail Greeter. You guys are the best, absolutely amazing, and I love you guys both. And they were at the Super Bowl and Waste Management this week, and they had a good time out there. They were sending me pictures, man. It was good stuff. Hey, look, we got 3 big awesome events next year just to pump you up next year, Tail Greeter and Miami Sports Music. That's how I know this relationship is going to keep going, which I love. Is they're going to be partnered with us on 3 away games next year. The Miami Dolphins will be in Washington, and Miami Sports Music will be hosting the FedEx Takeover. We'll have a meet and greet the night before the game and a huge tailgate the day of. We're expecting 150, maybe even 200 fans, if not more, at this thing. We'd love to see more, but we think that there could be more. Based on the numbers that we had in Baltimore, we think there'll be more in Washington. So it'll be really, really cool. Philadelphia, the Philly Finvasion. We're going to be doing stuff there next year. We're going to have a meet and greet the night before, as well as a big tailgate. That's going to be a lot of fun. Here's the best part about that. Everything's all in close proximity. The hotel, the meet and greet, and the stadium and the tailgate, all within walking distance of each other pretty much. and it's gonna be a really good time. So I'm excited about it. And then Baltimore, the 2023 Baltimore beatdown. We'll be doing it all over again, running it back again with Tail Greeter of Miami Sports Music and Jimmy's Famous Seafood. So it's going to be another fun time in Baltimore. It's going to be so much fun. So we hope that you guys come out. FedEx Takeover, Philly Finvasion, and the Baltimore beatdown next year, along with Tail Greeter. Tail Greeter. So it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, it is Hangover Monday. Mahomes, is he a top 5 quarterback all time? Did the refs cost Philly a Super Bowl? We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about the halftime show. We're going to talk about, did any of this affect the Dolphins? We get to play both teams next year. How do you think we stack up against the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs? It'll be interesting, and it'll be a lot of fun. Let me say hello to the people in the chat this morning, though, because I said thank you to the sponsors. I need to be thanking you, the fans. I wouldn't do the show without you. I can tell you that right now. And I wouldn't be able to do the show without you. Your donations, your support, they go such a long way into helping this channel grow and get bigger and move forward. Look, do I want to be having 1,000 people watching my show in the morning? Of course I do. But I know that it starts with one. And, it started with one. And so, everybody who's listening right now, I thank you from the bottom of my heart, because I wouldn't be able to do this without you. I would not be able to do this without you. Your donations are stuff that are able to help me get, pay some bills, be able to pay for the equipment, the monthly fees that I pay for this stuff every month. It's a big deal. So, you guys, when you donate, it tells me that you guys like the product and you guys want to support, and want to see me keep doing the morning show, because this is tough. This is this is a financial commitment, a time commitment, a family commitment, and this year was a lot of fun, but it took a lot of time away too, and a lot of sacrifices need to be made. So this show's big, and I cannot do it without you, the fans. So I want to say thank you to the fans. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and hopefully y'all keep supporting financially, listening at the events, whatever it is, sharing the link, whatever it is, you guys do it. So I want to say thank you to everybody. And I'm just going to say hello to the people, everybody in the chat this morning, man. I'll say Chris Johnson again, part of the family now, part of the family. Trucker Sean in here, Cap for Life, Adam Sadowski, Money Mitch, Noob, Level 2 Noob. What's up, man? Dolphin Winters, Canes 1989. Who else I got up in here this morning? Here, let me put that in there with he became a member this morning. Shout out to you, Chris. Jose Valdez. Hangry Al should be plugged more, bro. He's the local corporate entity we need to support. Hey, man, Hangry Al's is absolutely awesome. We love him. He's great, man. He's good stuff. And trust me, I definitely do support and love everything he's ever done for the show and for the business. It's good stuff. The White Carlton Stanton. I like it. Patrick Mahomes. We'll get into to that. Let's see here. Chef Zhu. Steven, I had so much fun this season, especially at the beginning of the season. We hung out a lot at tailgates and gatherings of the fans like Jimmy's and the Takeover. Yep, man. I love it. Chef Zhu is in the building. Gabriel Sosa, Chad Henne. Yes, Chad Henne. He retired, man. We'll talk a little bit about him. Liv, your new Super Bowl champions, NFL refs. Okay. Shake Money's in the building. Good morning, my neighbors. It's another beautiful day in Zamunda. Good morning, Shake Money. How are you? Saxman J. Will. Good morning, Stephen D. and Finn's fam. Who else is up in here, man? Thank you, man. I love seeing y'all. Hope you all enjoyed yesterday. Just a little bit about yesterday for me, man. It was a crazy day. My son's birthday. He turned 9 years old yesterday. So woke up and we went out to eat. We went and had breakfast at IHOP, International House of Pancakes. And then we went to like this indoor trampoline park called Jump Zone or Sky Zone, something like that. I did that for a couple of hours. So my kids really enjoyed that. And then, we went back home and played some games and hung out. And it was a lot of fun. Then we went to the mall. We went to the mall. Totally forgot about the mall. And they wanted to go shopping. He wanted to go shopping. So we did that, and that was fun. And then we had sushi. This is all he picked. Like, this is everything. I was like, look, kid, you can do whatever you want till the Super Bowl time. So about an hour before the Super Bowl. And then it's all about the Super Bowl. So I'm sorry you got to share your day with football's greatest day. So yeah, man, absolutely. He had a good time, and 9 years old. It's insane that he's 9, getting so big. People with kids definitely understand. Liv said, happy birthday to your son. I appreciate it. White Carlton Stanton says, wow, happy birthday. Kenna says, Steven, your show this year allowed me to see tailgating in Miami. Never been to a game, but loved everything you did on Sunday morning. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's thank you. That's all I know. That's what it's about. That's what I wanted to start this podcast for, and this morning show on a daily basis was for people to get introduced to the family, man. And that's what this is all about at the end of the day. What else, man? Chris Johnson said, does your son play football? No, he plays basketball. Friday night, he scored 10 points in a game. He scored like 10 points. They won 20 to 12, and he scored 10 points and had like 7 rebounds, 8 rebounds. He almost had a double-double. So yeah. So he's getting up there. He's playing. He's getting better. He's improving. Manalo says, Steven, enjoy the time with your kids. They grow up fast. Man, I no lies about that. Corey Walker says, happy birthday to your son. I love you. I appreciate it, Corey. He says, sorry, man. I loved your stream this year. It's all good, Corey, man. I definitely. Chef Shoe says, happy birthday to your son. Glad you spoiled him this weekend. It was good. It was good times. It was good times. And then, the game yesterday. The game for me, just, a little thoughts for me last night. I love the Super Bowl. Super Bowl, by the way, Super Bowl for me is so it's almost, I don't know if I should say this as a religious man, but it is like a religious experience, right? This is the first time in a long time I didn't have somebody over. I didn't go over to somebody's house. I love Super Bowl parties for the most part, but we didn't do none of that. We didn't even order pizza and wings. We were balling on a budget because it was his birthday, but we had leftovers and stuff. But it was. I enjoy like the pregame show and hearing, seeing. I like the Super Bowl presentation, the coin toss, all of it. So for me, my goal, is to go to a Super Bowl one day if I can afford it. But I was talking to my wife last night, and I'm like, I want to go to 2. I want to go to one that the Dolphins aren't in to actually enjoy the experience and really get into it. And then I want to go to one that the Dolphins obviously are in because that's my dream. But I said that because I was like, I imagine it. I can't imagine being a Chiefs or an Eagles fan yesterday. Although they both won a Super Bowl in the last, obviously the Chiefs and the Eagles have won Super Bowls in recent history. I said, I would be, as a Dolphins fan, I would be sick to my stomach with anxiety and nervousness if the Dolphins ever made the Super Bowl, or when the Dolphins ever make a Super Bowl. I will be sick to my stomach because I've been a fan of them for so long, and I just couldn't imagine. And that's, I guess, part of being a Dolphins. I can't even imagine being in a Super Bowl because we haven't been there so long. I'd like to just win a playoff game and know what that feels like. But I could not imagine that, like, my gut and just the nervous feeling of a Super Bowl morning, getting up, feeling that. Like yesterday, I'm at IHOP in Maryland, and there's Philadelphia Eagles fans there. We're at a Sky Zone yesterday, which is like an indoor trampoline park for my son. And there's Philadelphia Eagles fans there with their kids. And I'm like, I don't know if I'd be at a trampoline park the day of the Dolphins being in a Super Bowl. I love my kids, but the Dolphins in the Super Bowl would like legit trump almost anything else in my life. Love my family. I do. But they would legit trump anything if they were in the Super Bowl. And if I wasn't in where the area is, I definitely would be throwing my own party. Like that wouldn't even be a question. So I also think it's because Philadelphia fans and Kansas City fans have been in recent Super Bowls, and to them, this is just another walk in the park, which is sad because it's frustrating and sad as a Dolphins fan. But yeah, so I don't know. So yeah, so I couldn't imagine that the other night. That was a big thing, or yesterday, that was a big thing. I was thinking in my head as I'm sitting there, I'm like, I couldn't just be walking around right now. I'd be nervous about playing in the big game or like watching the big game. The other thing that kind of stuck out to me too was, you know, the call yesterday on Fox, Greg Olsen and Kevin Burkhardt. I have to admit, I wasn't a big fan of them. I didn't think they did a horrible job. You sound crazy as hell. No effing Super Bowl is above your family, Steven, ever. What the F? Bro, I'm a Dolphins fan till the day that I die. And let me tell you, unless my family is sick, okay, and I'm like legit sick, God forbid, knock on wood, hope that never happens, it's definitely going to be Dolphins, okay? I'm sorry. You can say what you want, Domes. Dolphins are definitely taking priority on a Super Bowl Sunday. I love them. Okay. Look, son, I know your birthday. It comes around every year. All right. That's exactly what I say. Okay. Dolphins have never been to a Super Bowl in my lifetime. That trumps. Okay. Just, it takes the mantle, it takes the top spot. He said, it's okay because we'll be there next year. Bones laughing. 21 likes, 57 people in the room. Hit the like button, y'all, please. Yes. Noob says parent of the year. No doubt, man. No doubt. I'm definitely parent of the year. They know it. That's the other part too. Okay. Complaining about people calling the Super Bowl sounds like first world problems. Shake Money says, yeah, again, these are all thoughts that I had watching the game yesterday, right? It was Fox. I missed Joe Buck's call. All right. Definitely did. Shout out to Cool and Heat. $5 donation. Cool and Heat won the halftime Super Bowl block pool. Won the halftime. Yeah, he did. Man's about to get paid. Drinks on Cool and Heat. That's all I know. Best sports talk show in town. Again, I'm trying to go through all of my thoughts yesterday while watching the game. I enjoyed the commercials. Thought the commercials were really good. Liked Zoolander commercial. The Clueless commercial was pretty good. But my favorite commercial of the entire night, because my kid and I were just straight cracking up, and maybe this is bad that my 9-year-old was laughing at this commercial, but it was the Miller Lite and Coors Light. This is a Miller Lite commercial. This is a Coors Light commercial. This is a Miller Lite commercial. And they're fighting each other. And at the last 2 seconds ago, really, this is a Blue Moon commercial. We were dying laughing. Just straight dying laughing. So that was a really good commercial. And then there was another one that had a whole bunch of cameos in it. I can't think of the one that it was, but that was really good too. I like the fridge commercial. That was one with all the cameos. That was good. There was a couple of them with a lot of cameos. But it was so weird, like seeing like the Bass Pro Shops commercial. I noticed to myself, I said, they spent $1 million on just a regular random commercial that they shot, like that you can see on any day. You get a Super Bowl commercial, you shoot a new one and make it exclusive for the Super Bowl. You don't spend $1 million on a random nothing commercial. Was unbelievable. The Mets commercial when the mascot tried to put on the headphones, that was good. Yes. That was good. I enjoyed that. The commercials are the best part. And it was funny, right? Because my kids know watching a game with dad, all right, I can talk to him in a commercial break. So I had to explain to my 9-year-old and 7-year-old, all right, guys, you can talk to me during the football game, but when the commercials are on, you have to watch and pay attention and be quiet. And they did not understand that concept at first. They're like, what is this? But then they noticed that the commercials were funny, or, you know, that they were different commercials than the normal. And so by halftime, my son was like, Dad, the commercials are on. Where are you? So, because I ended up playing on my phone, I was on my phone on Twitter the fourth quarter, watching Twitter as well as watching the game. And then obviously, as far as the game itself is concerned, I thought it was really, really good. 38-35. The over hit was, I'd be honest with you, I thought Philadelphia's defense and Kansas City's defense, I didn't think the over was going to hit yesterday. I understand we were talking about Jalen Hurts and Patty Mahomes. I understand that. But I would probably say, I think the thing for me is that second half. You come out of halftime, you're down by 10 plus points, and Patrick Mahomes just turned it up. He just 4 possessions in that second half and 3 touchdowns and the game-winning field goal at the end. It was good. And as far as the refs are concerned, let me just talk about the one play in general, right? The Bradbury holding or pass interference, whatever. It was a flag. It was legit a flag. Like, you cannot sit there and say that wasn't a flag. You can argue maybe that flag shouldn't have been called in that moment, or it wasn't called the entire game. Why is it called in that big moment? I can deal with that. But it was a legit flag. Like, the penalty happened. It's not that the penalty never existed. They were there. It was a legit flag. And so you got to remember, he held him twice within the first 2 yards or whatever it was. And then after that, there was still contact after that. And Bradbury came out in the postgame and said, nope, it was a legit call. I did. It was good. He admitted to holding himself, which, by the way, makes me all the more want Bradbury this offseason because he's going to be a free agent. And I'm telling my wife as this is going on, I'm like, he's going to be a free agent, and I want him. I want him on the Dolphins. Like, I think he'll be a great addition. And so in the postgame of the Super Bowl, when you get a flag to take onus and say, no, this was me. This was on me. This wasn't a bad penalty. I did this. I was all for it. It was 100% holding, and he admitted to it. So if you guys are saying it's within 5 yards or whatever, I'm telling you that was a penalty. Now, what you can argue with is, in that moment, was it egregious enough that it interfered with the outcome of the play? You can make an argument for that. Probably not. I don't know if it necessarily, I mean, you can make the argument one way or the other, but I can definitely hear from people. What I'm saying is I could hear that argument. It didn't affect the play. Why was it a bit like it never should have been called in that moment? The refs decided the outcome of a Super Bowl. It was a legit flag. And so that takes all the other arguments out the window at the end of the day, in my opinion. And that's what it is, Lewis. They didn't like a call that basically ended the Super Bowl. It took the excitement. I mean, because once you make that call, the game's over. You're not stopping Patty Mahomes at that point. So I get them. Lewis says it was an uncatchable ball, so pick up the flag. You can make that argument too. And I can listen to that. And I like how Lewis is like, you don't call like that. You don't make a call like that. That basically ended the Super Bowl. It was an uncatchable ball, so pick it up. Look, I can hear both of those arguments. What I want to say to it is it was a flag. There are other things that it does suck that a ref decided the outcome. But it was a legit flag. It didn't come out of thin air. And the other question to it is, were they calling that the whole night? What I noticed the entire night is that up until that point, I don't think there was really any arguments about the refs. There was a play clock issue again in the Super Bowl, but that was it. And they need to figure that out because that's 2 times in the playoffs that they had a play clock issue. That was, you guys need to get that under wraps. It was only uncashable because he was held. He was 3 steps away, Caslin said. There we go. If that happens to us, Steven, in the Super Bowl, are you feeling the same way you feel today? Really good question, Lewis. Do I feel the same way if that happened to the Dolphins in the Super Bowl? Probably. It's a biased answer. Yes, I feel worse, probably 10 times worse, because it would have been the Dolphins' first Super Bowl appearance in years. I would feel it would suck to lose a Super Bowl like that. Lewis, I've made the statement, and I'll make it again 50 million more times. I would rather get blown out in a game than lose a close game. Because when you lose close games like 38-35, you think about a pass interference call or a holding call. You think about a drop catch. You think about should I have passed it here, or maybe was there another wide receiver that was open even somewhere else on the field? You think about these things. And when you lose close games, you can narrow things down to under 10 plays, and you're like, it's just that one thing would have been different. Maybe the outcome of this game would have been different. So to answer your question, yes, I would feel the same way. I'd feel worse if it was. Win the damn game. Just give up. Don't give up a return to Tony. That singular play didn't cost anyone anything. It's an excuse. You love you, Lewis, but you're wrong. Noob said, say that 5 times fast. I would have been mad. Yeah, of course I would have. They had to show the Eagles the cakewalk was over. Gabriel Sosa said, all right. So my wife goes to me last night. She goes, are you going to admit that the Eagles are better than what you gave them credit for this year? Because if you guys watch my show, Clock Blockers, the #1 Miami fan morning show, you know that I'm a huge hater of the Eagles. Like, I don't believe that they were this great team. I thought they cakewalked into the Super Bowl. They got, 100%. I have to admit, going toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes and almost winning that, there's something to be said about that. There's something to be said. And I will admit publicly, Philadelphia Eagles are a lot better than I gave them credit for. A lot better than I gave them credit for. That's just, they were a lot better than I thought. Eagles lost the game due to a fumble return, TD, and kick return. Exactly, Noob. A lot of plays determined the game, and the holding call wasn't one of them. I hear you, Noob. I'm just saying, bro, I hate the Super Bowl to end like that. I'd rather lose a close game. When you get blown out, you don't even deserve to be on the field. But when flip side, what I'm trying to say is when you get blown out, my stomach is a lot better getting blown out because you're like, we don't even deserve to play this team. Like, we suck. I can shake off a blowout a lot more. The only one I was not able to shake off that easy was 62-7. That's it. It's the only one I really wasn't. When we lost 52-10 in week 1, I was over it within a day or two because I was like, I know what this team is. They stripped it down and wiped, they took it for all the parts. I know what 52-10 is. I get it. I understand. When we lost week 1 to the Ravens in Miami, 52-10, I was over it the next day. When we lost 62-7 to Jacksonville in the playoffs, and it was Marino's last game, and I was, 12 years old or whatever, I was hurting for weeks after that. But for the most part, when we get blown out, I'm able to wipe that loss off so much easier rather than losing a game 38-35 or 21-17 or, 23-21. Those close games always bother me. They eat at me. They just eat at me. I would rather lose fair than to a BS call. It wasn't a BS call, though, Jeff. It wasn't. They went blow for blow. Biggest disappointment was D-line, no doubt. Kane says, Steven, as a Canes fan, I do not trust the refs, to be honest. The ball was not catchable. They were inside the 5 yards. He wasn't holding his jersey, nor did he alter his body from running. They gave KC that game. If I was us, I'd be blowing up the world, Bones says. I disagree with you. I hear you, Bones. But the fact of the matter is he did hold him. I understand that the ball wasn't catchable, but just like Noob said, it wasn't catchable because he was being held. So that's why. Gabriel says, I agree. They're better than I thought. They proved me wrong all season. Say it, Steven. Hurts is also better than Tua. Andres, I'll say this, man. Jalen Hurts threw for over 300 yards, had a throwing touchdown, and ran for 70 yards and rushed for 3 touchdowns. He had 4 touchdowns and over 300 yards. Jalen Hurts automatically is a top 10 quarterback in this league to me. He's so much better than I thought he was. I mean, you might be able to make an argument top 7 quarterback. He to play on the world's biggest stage and for him to do what he did, to have the game that he had, Hurts in no way, shape, or form is the reason that they lost that game. Now, what I will say is that last throw, that Hail Mary throw, Tua has a better arm than Hurts. Just want to put that out there so we can start an argument about that. Want to just sprinkle that in there for y'all. Just a little bomb for y'all. Yes, Hurts was amazing. Hurts was absolutely played out of his mind yesterday. Hurts was better than Mahomes. Was not better than Mahomes last night. You know, here's the thing. Mahomes played on one leg. That ankle was I'd be interested to know if he took some sort of shot in the ankle at halftime. Here's the fact of the matter. The man's been in the league 5 years, and within 5 years in the league, he's been to 3 Super Bowls. He's won 2 of them. He's a 2-time Super Bowl MVP, and he's a 2-time NFL MVP. He is not better than Brady. He is definitely top 5 quarterback of all time, in my opinion. The numbers are already proving it. And he could retire tomorrow, and he'd be in the Hall of Fame. He could retire tomorrow and be in the Hall of Fame. The numbers are already there for him. He would be a first ballot Hall of Famer, even with his numbers now. I know some of you are going to disagree with me but look, man, he's unreal, and Mahomes is hands down, the best quarterback in the NFL, and it's not even a question of if they're it's Mahomes. Mahomes is the best, but I want you all to think about that. Hurts played out of it. You know how we sit here and talk about, okay, Brady, right? Look about all the losing quarterbacks in the Super Bowls. In the 7 Super Bowls that Brady won, there were a lot of really great quarterbacks. And they can say, well, I would have had a ring if it wasn't for Brady. Or I would have been able to have more rings if it wasn't for Brady. Right? Hands down. Okay? So I look at this yesterday and I say to myself, Mahomes lost 1 Super Bowl. It was to the GOAT. It was to Brady, right? And if it wasn't for Hurts, and I think if Hurts played anybody else besides the Chiefs, Philly wins that Super Bowl yesterday because Hurts played unreal and out of his mind. The issue is he played against Patrick Mahomes, and Patrick Mahomes is just better. He's just better on all accounts. Everything about Mahomes that he does is better. He's unreal. There's Patrick Mahomes, there's 30 feet of crap, and then there's the rest of the NFL quarterbacks. Okay, I'm exaggerating a little, but you get what I'm saying. Like, Mahomes is just by far and away better than anybody else in the NFL right now. And my personal opinion, and I know, look, the argument can be, look, 5 years, 3 Super Bowls, 2 wins, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, 2 NFL MVPs. Come on. Like, how can you not say right now, 5 years in, he's already a top 5 player? He is. The numbers show that. The numbers show that. The kid is it. He is him. Mahomes is it. 100%. So, that's just my opinion about Patrick Mahomes. And I'm sticking to it. I'm sticking to it, man. 100%. It's in the Florida water. Steven, that dumb untouched fumble by Hurts is what killed it for the Eagles. Could be. Possible. Let's see here. No arguments. That's facts, Steven. I appreciate that. Hurts stepped on Kelsey's foot on that pass. Wrong again, Steven. Hurts gave Kansas City 7 free points, Steven. And call it what you want. They still had to go out. They still, like, he had 3 touchdowns. And he drove them down the field in that last drive. What else do you want? Like, you see, like, your apples and you're cherry picking at something, in my opinion. Bro, that ankle was fine. He's hurt. He was hurt this whole postseason. 100%. Yeah, he didn't know he had a leg when he came out in that second half. I think he took a shot, my personal opinion. Mahomes' bust is being laser carved at this moment already. Omar Castro says, prime Mahomes over prime Brady. Who? Prime Mahomes over prime Brady, Omar? I'm probably going prime Mahomes. He was a lot more fun to watch in his prime than Brady was. Brady was Mahomes is fun to watch. Like, as a football fan, period, Patrick Mahomes, I'm turning on the game. 100%. You know? I don't know if that's fair or unfair, Omar. I know that right now this is what I have as prime Mahomes, and he's unreal. I don't know. I have to think about that. My initial thought is yes, I would take prime Mahomes over prime Brady, but man, that is a really good question. I want to think about that more. Mahomes will break all the records. Then you will see Herbert breaking all of them. God, I hope not about Herbert. I love when y'all do this quarterback versus quarterback thing like they play each other. Mahomes is on another level, but Burrow's not far off. I don't know how I feel about Burrow yet, but Burrow wasn't even there yesterday, so that's, you know. What I do know is Burrow was sacked 9 times in an AFC championship game and still won that AFC championship game, and that says a lot about a player. Tom Brady was more cerebral. Patrick Mahomes is more athletic and pure arm talent and arm strength. Stephen, prime Mahomes couldn't beat old Brady, so don't think too much. Facts, Jose. But that defense was so, come on now. But those are facts. That is a that is a factual statement, Jose. I'll give you that. Talent-wise, he's better than Brady. People do realize when it comes to the WCO, you can get a lead and come back from falling behind. Look, in the 57 Super Bowls in NFL history, and out of 57 Super Bowls, there have only been 2 games where a team was up by more than 10 points at the half and lost the game. It was the Atlanta Super Bowl to Tom Brady, and it was last night when Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles had a 10-point plus lead at halftime and blew it. Blew it. Only 2 other times in 57 years. That says a lot, too. You saw both Tom Brady and possibly Prime Marino. Who has more arm strength and who has more arm talent? I don't remember prime Marino. I remember Marino at the end of his career. Now, I know of prime Marino. And in my opinion, nobody had better arm strength or more arm talent than Dan Marino. And maybe I'm biased because this is a Miami Dolphins channel. So be it. Maybe I'm biased because I think he's absolutely amazing. He's my favorite football player of all time, and I love the man. And he was amazing in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. And if anybody has anything to say, they can come talk to me. But Dan Marino has the best arm in the history of the game, and there's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. None. So I'm taking Marino's arm over anything. Arm talent, arm strength, measuring arms, it doesn't matter. Arm, Marino's arms, the best. Let's see here. Mahomes lost to Brady's defense. Till dog. That's what I was getting at. Yeah. That's all good. That's good football. Playing at a high level in all three phases of the game. Eagles 0 sacks. Shaking my head. They didn't. Yep. The Kansas City line was decimated versus Brady. Kansas City would have won that game if they had a healthy O-line. I think it would have been different. That much I'm sure of. Definitely would have been different. Chiefs had the longest punt return in Super Bowl history. Should have been a touchdown. I didn't know that there's never been a punt return for a Super Bowl in a Super Bowl last night until they said that there's never been. I would say Patrick Mahomes, maybe Steven, is the closest thing to Dan Marino in terms of arm strength talent, or arm talent and arm strength. Yeah, but he's not anywhere. You just can't compare Marino's arm strength to anybody, in my opinion. Prime Marino was sweet, playing with whatever talent around him to be in the playoffs 10 out of 17 years. That's right, OG Stephen D. Let him know. Dan the man is him. The thing that kills me is Tua desperate to tear down Hurts yesterday in some weird attempt to prop up Tua. Look, the only thing that Tua... I'm watching the game yesterday, and in the intro, if you guys watch the intro, the Fox's opening montage, they do a thing for Jalen Hurts. And Jalen's thing has... And Tua Tagovailoa is coming, and they mentioned Tua twice in the thing, and show like a silhouette with the number 13 and Tagovailoa on the back. And so I thought that was funny because I'm like, I know Dolphins Twitter is going to run with that. And so I saw that. So, for me, I'll say this, Noob, to your thought, to your comment. The only thing that I saw yesterday is that very last Hail Mary where I know Tua would have thrown it further than him. That's it. That's the only thing. Jalen Hurts is absolutely amazing and is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. The man scored 4 touchdowns in a Super Bowl, 3 of them rushing, and threw for over 300 yards in that same game. There's nothing negative that you can say, not really say. There's nothing negative you can say about Jalen Hurts. There's nothing. I have nothing negative to say about that man. He plays anybody else besides Patrick Mahomes yesterday, he wins that Super Bowl. And it's a totally different conversation. Dan Marino plays anybody else besides Joe Montana, he wins a Super Bowl. And nobody else says anything. So we understand what that looks like. But I'm telling you, Marino went to 1 Super Bowl, never went back. We all think as Dolphin fans, Marino's God's greatest gift. Okay? And to a certain extent, his arm definitely is. Nothing negative you can say about Hurts. And if you are, you're just hating. You're just being a hater. Personal opinion. All I know is Fangio stayed extra weeks to get the defense shredded when it counts in the big game, Steven. They signed him for 2 weeks. It's not that he stayed. He was never even officially part of that team. They signed him 2 weeks ago to be a real coach. But what are you going to implement in 2 weeks that you haven't already done? So let's not go there, Von Joe. Okay, let's not do that. People forget Mahomes was down 24 points, came back and scored 51 unanswered points. Philadelphia got lucky. That call wasn't a fumble for another TD. Hey, so all I could think of was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Super Bowl when who won the MVP for that? Dexter Jackson, right? I was like, who the hell is Dexter Jackson? But we all knew he was the day after the Super Bowl. And same thing last night. The linebacker who scored that first touchdown for them, I was like, bro, we're about to know who this person is. I can't remember. Had he scored that second touchdown last night, I would legit know that guy's name. Can't remember that guy's name now. Okay. Cannot remember that guy's name for the life of me. But had he scored that second touchdown and it would counted, we'd know it, and he would have had a legit shot to be the MVP of that Super Bowl. Just throwing that out there. Marino's release was epic. I felt bad for Jason Kelsey last night. Gabriel Sosa said, yeah, look, Jason is class act. Look, one of the brothers had to lose. But I do like Jason. I like Travis and Jason both. And they're, Travis is top 3 tight end of all time, maybe even top 2. And Jason is probably top 3 center of all time. They're both the start at their position. So at the top, I still can't believe not a holding penalty on the Chiefs against that front 4. I don't know, man. I'll say this, with the exception of that one play, I thought the refs did pretty good for the most of the night because they called it very even on both sides. It wasn't until that one big play that determined the outcome, which I agree, of the Super Bowl, and I get that. I understand that. Steven, Prime Marino versus Prime Rodgers. Prime Marino versus Prime Rodgers. Prime Marino, 10 out of 10 times, all day. Aaron Rodgers didn't have to face Joe Montana in his Super Bowl appearances. I'm taking Prime Marino all day. Let's see. Hurt. You keep on talking about Hurts tripped on Kelsey's foot. Don't ignore that. I got you. I hear you. Steven, are you dense? He lost his footing and stepped on Kelsey's foot on that throw to his arm. Is nowhere near stronger than Hurts. Stop that BS. I'm trolling you all. I even was like, I'm just messing with y'all, throwing a little. Come on now. Stop it. Stop it. Calm down. Not the end of the world. Yeah, I just sat there for 3-4 minutes and praised Jalen Hurts. And all you heard was a joke of Tua's got a better arm than Hurts. Are you kidding me? Calm down. Calm down. Jeez. Boy, y'all be taking everything seriously. The rent is free for Tua when it comes to Fonjo Cruz. Marino was in 3 AFC championship games. Yeah, he was. He sure was. When does Vic Fangio sign? Hopefully today he'll sign. Hopefully he will sign today. No doubt about it. Steven, a lot of people said the referees gave Dallas Carter the cash because they missed the A.J. Brown catch on the sideline. Do you agree? No, I don't agree with that. Don't agree with that. Steven said, what is your opinion on Tyreek Hill saying Tua is better than Mahomes? Was he wrong? Yes, Tyreek was wrong. 100% Tyreek was wrong. Mahomes is the best quarterback on the planet, and not even close. Steven, that Super Bowl between the Raiders and the Bucks has asterisks around it because a whole lot of strange stuff was going on, but that's a convo for another day. We can talk about it another day. Let's see here. This is still best chat of the day so far as this cruise. Shout out to Cruz. Definitely got the best one so far. The Dolphins never surrounded Marino with any talent, in my honest opinion. Yep. That's another conversation for another day. They in their feels about their quarterbacks. Yep, they sure are. The last ball Hurts threw was nowhere near the end zone. Look, I just know that it wasn't as long as I was hoping it was. That's all I know. But again, I'm not saying anything negative about Jalen Hurts. That man balled out last night, and he plays anybody else, he's the Super Bowl MVP, and we're talking about him in a totally different conversation. Wow, he's the man. He lost the Super Bowl. He went toe-to-toe with the MVP of the NFL and the Super Bowl. You can make an argument that he might have even had a better game than him, and he lost the game. Nothing negative to say about Jalen. Not one thing. He didn't say Tua was better than Mahomes. He said he was more accurate. That's it. That's true. He did say that. He did say that. You know what? That is true, Gabriel. I'll retract my statement. He said that he was more accurate, but again, Mahomes was on fire last night, Gus, and he gets better. He gets better as he plays. Steven, who are your top modern era Super Bowl winning quarterbacks from 2010 to 2023? Mine are Brady, Mahomes, Peyton Manning. Brady, Mahomes, definitely up there. I guess Peyton's up there because he won twice with two different teams, but we can all make the argument that Denver Super Bowl was because of the defense, not because of Peyton. As far as Super Bowl winning quarterbacks are concerned in modern era, I think it's Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, and then there's probably everybody else for the most part. I mean, there's some good quarterbacks that have won a Super Bowl. Matt Stafford, legit, right? That when he's on, that kid is good. I don't know who Peyton is probably right there. Not right there, but he's under Brady and Mahomes. But I would put Mahomes over Manning today. Wouldn't even be a question for me. Wouldn't even be a question. Hurts is a great running back. Bad news. Is he thorough like a running? I don't understand that. You got to rephrase that question, bud. Only ones in their fields about a quarterback are the guys who couldn't catch the dang on game and enjoy it because they were busy tweeting if Tua all night. Yes. Tua's awkward AF during interviews. Y'all, we're talking about the Super Bowl, and y'all are sitting here talking about Tua and how, get that man out of your heads. Joe Montana 4-0 in Super Bowls. Yes, he sure is. Yep. 100%. All right, Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. If you like the content, you're a big fan of myself or Clock Blockers or Flip Floppers or Cap Blockers, donate to the channel right now. Help it grow. We can't grow without your help. So if you are able to donate to the channel. It's a big deal. It helps the channel grow. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to drop the link for you guys to get on and come in and talk. I'm going to take y'all on one at a time. We could talk Super Bowl. We could talk whatever it is. The floor is yours. Do you think, Mahomes is top 5 all time? Do you not think he is? Whatever it is you want to talk about, the floor is most definitely yours, and I'm willing to chat it up with you. It is Hangover Monday. We call it Hangover Monday because, hey, Super Bowl is over. Super Bowl is over. The season is done. And I'm sad about that. I don't know about you, but it's going to be a long off season. We are expecting news out of Miami Gardens today, hopefully, that Mr. Vic Fangio will become the defense coordinator for the Miami Dolphins. So we're just hopefully get that official news coming out of Miami Gardens. That will make me very happy to hear. Yeah, so we're just waiting on that. Again, if you guys want to get in, I dropped the link. I pinned it to the chat. Please get in. Wait for y'all to get on, and I'll definitely do it. Chiefs felt slighted, BitBop said. Yeah. Chiefs defense almost had another touchdown last night as well. Eagles were fortunate that there was no football move. Peyton's career was looking similar to Favre's until Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware won him that Super Bowl. Very, very similar. You can even make the point that Peyton's career very similar to Dan Marino's, minus the obviously 2, but yeah, minus the 2 Super Bowl wins, which is big, by the way. That's such a big minus the 2 Super Bowl wins, where Marino had none. All right, let me bring on my brother from another mother, Ryan Keeling. What's up, Ryan? What's up, buddy?
What's going on?
What's up, man? How was last night? You watched it at your home base, right?
Yeah. We had a few of our guys come out and watch the game. There was a big contingent of Chiefs fans there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were pretty loud and excited. Good for them. Congratulations. Maybe I'll know what it's like one day.
You know, I that is something that I would like for people in the chat. When you're watching a Super Bowl and you're watching the team that wins and the confetti rain on the field and the Super Bowl the Lombardi presentation, do Dolphins fans, because I know I do, automatically just imagine what it would be like for the Dolphins in this situation?
I mean, I can't speak for everybody. My imagination on it is constant up until we lose the last game that stops us from getting there.
Oh, just in general on a year in, year out basis. I'm talking about while watching the Super Bowl. Like you're sitting there and you're like, man, I imagine what this will be like one day for us whenever it happens.
I mean, I haven't done that.
I have.
Like while watching the game itself, but
I do it every year. Every year I watch the Super Bowl, I imagine the Dolphins logo in one of the end zones and what that would just, I would love it. I imagine like when they do whatchamacallit, contracts when they do I'm sitting here reading Caslin's comment. When they do Super Bowl press night, that I imagine, oh man, I would love to see a Dolphins press conference night during the Super Bowl. I try to plug it, but that's what I dream about as a Dolphins fan, and I have ever since.
I dream about that constantly throughout the entire season. But the week of, I'm either just not paying attention to any of that stuff, or when I'm watching the game, I'm watching that game. Maybe if it's a team that we played in the regular season, I have different thoughts. Going on, but
let me just pause you real quick. Speaking of that, the Miami Dolphins next year will go to Kansas City and will go to Philadelphia. Obviously, we're hosting the Philadelphia tailgate, the Philly Finvasion. But
and I know we were talking about the possibility of if Philly wins, us having to play at Philly Thursday night to open the season. I think us playing at Kansas City Thursday night to open the season is just as realistic of a possibility.
The Dolphins in Kansas City, Tyreek's return to Kansas City.
Yep, Tyreek's return to Kansas City, Tua versus Mahomes. I think that would be
opening night, Thursday night.
Yep.
Wow.
I think that's a distinct possibility.
It's not hot take Tuesday, cuz. Did you just have a hot take? Do you think the Dolphins are opening up the season on Thursday night football and are the opening game of the year with the Chiefs?
I didn't say I think they are. I just said I think that that's a very distinct possibility.
Oh, no. That sounded like a hot take coming from you, Ryan. I'm going to take that as you had a hot take. It'll be interesting.
I haven't looked at the rest of Kansas City's opponents. I don't know who all they're playing. So I'll reserve my hot take for after I look at their list of opponents.
Lewis says, Lewis says, I see 1-0 in the future if that happens. LOL. Cruise where you start with the bang. That would be crazy if that happens. I'll say this, just as much as I was, dreaming about the Dolphins being in the Super Bowl, I was also thinking next year, man, we play both of these teams. How do the Dolphins stack up against the Kansas City Chiefs? How do they stack up against?
Well, we played Kansas City. Not this season, but last season played against Kansas City, and it was different Miami team, different Miami coaching, et cetera, et cetera. But Tua went punch for punch with Mahomes in that game, and that was with the abysmal Brian Flores offense with no weapons, and he went punch for punch with them and almost won the game. And that was in Kansas City 2 seasons ago. So
100%. Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's not outside of the realm of realism to say that they could go into Kansas City and win that game this coming season.
Look, I think that there's the possibility there. Look, the Dolphins have the second hardest schedule in the NFL next year.
Yep.
100%. Crypto says that's cat. Lewis says cat blockers.
I'm sorry. It's cap. I hate that. I hate that word, by the way. It's so stupid.
Ryan doesn't like the new lingo. He doesn't like the slang, okay? The new slang. All
like it's not a secret. It's not a secret at all that Brian Flores didn't know how to coach offense. It's not a secret at all that Brian Flores didn't know how to hire an offensive coaching staff. Why so shut up. There.
We're not talking about Flores today. God forbid, please.
I wasn't trying to. I was commenting about a game that happened, But you know damn well that's what Crypto's getting at.
Nancy Lewis doesn't think very highly of our Dolphins. I got us getting a dub versus KC. We'll be much tougher football team next year, CB83 says. Shout out to CB83. Now that's the type of talk I want to hear, CB83. I agree with you. None of this cat blockers from Lewis. Lewis over here hating. I'm just playing.
Look, the first thing that we really have to be talking about, though, that is more important is who's going to Canton in August. Because I know I am.
I want to go. You sent me a text and I didn't respond because I didn't know how to respond. Because I don't know right now. I want to go to Canton. I would love to see Zach Thomas get inducted. It'd be pretty awesome. And there's a good chance the Dolphins are I have actually heard through a grapevine that is a very realistic possibility that the Dolphins are the Hall of Fame game this year.
I mean, that's the worst preseason game that exists. So who cares?
Well, look, if we're going there, we might as well have a good time in Canton.
We're going to have a good time in Canton, regardless of watching a bunch of people that are never going to play on an NFL roster.
Fourth and fifth stringers that we're never going to see. Come on, yeah. We will get to see our third string phenomenon himself play the entire game.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a Skylar Thompson game for sure.
Skylar Thompson game.
Yeah, maybe it's just me, but I'm all Skylar Thompsoned out. I had to see I saw both of his Jets games last year in person. I'm all Skylar Thompsoned out.
Boy, Ryan, you were pissing off a lot of people this morning, bro. You have no idea. You are making a lot of people mad this morning.
I don't care. Get over it.
Oh man.
Get over it. I'm not saying Tua is the end all be all. I mean, I still think that if he can stay healthy and string a full season together, that he can put together a legit Pro Bowl campaign and a playoff run at the least. But I'm not saying I'm not going to sit here and say he's better than Patrick Mahomes. I'm not going to sit here and say that he's necessarily better than Jalen Hurts, even though he took Jalen Hurts' starting job in college.
I'm not saying anything bad about Jalen Hurts after last night's game.
I'm not even going to say he's necessarily better than Josh Allen. Like, I'm not going to say this, but I am going to say that he's better than Skylar Thompson, and I don't understand people's confusion about that. Regardless,
he's like, you were kind of close, Steven, to Canton. It's only a 6-hour drive for you.
Yeah, it's not far, man. You can.
Are you driving?
It could be a day trip. Yeah,
I'm
driving. What am I going to do? Fly? That's ridiculous.
I think. Well, then I'm coming with you.
I mean, the amount of driving I would have to do in the wrong direction to get to an airport. To fly to an airport even further away. Like, no, that would be insane.
If I go, I am coming with you. Okay, that's what that is. I'm going to drive to you in West by God, Virginia, and then which is like a 2-hour drive from me, and then I'm coming with you because I'm not driving all the way to Canton, Ohio. G says new member. Shout out to G. 2 new members this morning. Can we get some new ones? If you want to become a member to the channel, put on the link below. Actually, I think G was already a member, but he came back. He came back, my guy. Shout out to G. Let's see here. Pro Bowl campaign like in his last 4 games. Come on, y'all are delusional. All right, hey, I got somebody here who's interested in going back and forth with you. Do you want a little debate this morning, Ryan?
I mean, I don't care. What are we debating?
All right, here we go. Hello, Crypto.
Oh Jesus! I know what we're
Hey,
debating.
what's up? If you don't want to know about the terminology cap, how about this for a terminology? You're a lie and the truth is not in you. Does that make it feel better? That's the other translation. You're a lie and the truth is not in you. If you don't want to listen to the terminology cap, how about this for a terminology? How about this for a terminology for tuaneers? It's not tuaneers, tuanon, or tuasexuals. I'm coining the new phrase. They are the Tuer Reich, as in the Third Reich.
Oh,
that's who they are. They are the Tuer Reich.
No.
Anybody in that side of the nonsense, I'm coining them as the Tuer Reich. That's what they are. REICH.
Hey, just so you know,
the Tuer Reich
in full effect. Bans are 100% in full effect right now, and
that's what it is. I am debuting it on your channel like I did the other night. That's what they are. They are the Tuer Reich, and CB83 is the Führer of the Tuer Reich.
Oh my God! You can't say that, Crypto. Like, that is very offensive. You cannot do that, Crypto.
Why?
Because
that's not the truth.
No, it's not.
I mean, you're kind of
no
people,
Crypto. That's wrong.
Nazi. That's kind of messed up.
That's politically incorrect. Okay.
I don't care about political correctness. Political correctness.
But that's just
that goes no. That goes beyond.
That's their behavior.
No,
that's their behavior, and that's how they act.
No, it's not, Crypto.
That's what they are.
You just compare.
You look up the 14 characteristics of that freaking regime, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. And apply it.
If you want to get comparative, I think it would be the anti-Tua people that are trying to gather up Tua people into a certain camp.
No, it's not. Don't try to hijack it, because that's what the Tua people are.
I'm not trying to cancel
people.
That's a terrible comparison that you're making.
That's what the Tua non-people are, because they always try to gather people up. That's what they are. They're the Tua Reich. That's what they are.
He's compared Tua fans to Nazis. I'm very
What's the difference?
Are you kidding me, Crypto?
They always try to cancel people. They always try to alienate people. They demonize people.
Say that.
They're not murdering the people that don't like their quarterback.
They propagandize people. They are the big time propagandists. That's what they are.
Stop it.
No,
that's what they are. That's what they are. No, and that's another thing. They kings of gaslighting folks. That's exactly what they do. They like they freaking like Rommel. They like the General Rommel.
Crypto.
That's what they are.
Crypto.
That's what these people are.
$10 gets Crypto out of here for 10 minutes, y'all. I'm just letting y'all know.
Go ahead and do it.
$50.
You pay your money, Keeling. Pay your money. Stop begging other people. You pay your money.
Hey, hold up. I'm the one who said it. I'm the one who just said that. It wasn't Ryan. Because you can't say that, Crypto. That is politically
I can. No, I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn about your political correctness.
By the way, it's Ryan, not Brian, but I know who you were. Ryan, they got you out of here for 10 minutes. I love you, Ryan. He says, bye, Brian. You're talking nonsense about Flores. You have no clue. Caslin got you out. It's Ryan with an R, not with a B.
Right, yeah. No, I ain't say Brian. I said Ryan Keeling. But
Crypto, listen to me. All right.
He want to say nonsense about Flores can't freaking staff.
Crypto.
How about this one that's fired their first offensive coordinator? Apparently he can't build a staff neither.
Crypto, I love you. You're my brother from another mother, but you're wrong on this.
Who coach can't build a staff?
Crypto, you were very culturally insensitive to an entire community. You cannot do that like that.
No, that wasn't. That's what these people behave like.
Bro, you just compared Tua's.
It ain't got nothing to do with killing nobody. It's metaphoric. Stop it. Grow up.
No.
Grow up. That's a metaphor.
No. You talk about gaslighting.
Nobody deliberately said nobody was being killed. I'm saying metaphorically, that's what they do systematically to anybody who wants to trade him or anybody that wants to upgrade for him. They systematically exile people and try to freaking excommunicate people whenever somebody talk about an upgrade. That's exactly what the behavior is of that regime. That's why I coined them the freaking Tua Reich.
You can't call them and I won't allow it. Don't call them to a wreck on my channel.
Oh, that's their new name. That's the get used to it.
No, you can call them.
That's who they are.
You can call them two in ears. I'm not.
Nope.
I'm not.
That's my new terminology for those people now.
Nope.
They can get in their feels about me accusing them of killing folks. They systematically do it on any kind of level when they talk about alienate people and demonizing folks. They like he just did it now. He demonized Flores for no apparent reason. Flores had jack shit to do with anything. But what did Flores have to do with being demonized now? And we was talking about a Super Bowl,
bro. You just said all two ears are Nazis. Like, I want you to think about that for a second.
The behavior is they behave like them,
bro.
No, it's not.
Come on, yes, you are 100%. Crypto, you systematically cry and gaslight Cruz Ruiz says. I love you.
He can say that. He can say that all he wants. Congratulations.
Look, you can't. I will. It is culturally insensitive. It is wrong and disrespectful.
How is it culturally insensitive to call the cattle black?
But bro, you just called Tua fans Nazis. Like, you can't do that.
Rabid Tua fans that don't give a damn about this team, that always try to gaslight us about his numbers and everything else. That's the behavior of that regime, of that empire, the Third German Empire. That's what it is.
I'm not going to set a precedent, but I would like to ask you, friend to a friend, do not call people that on my channel.
Okay, if you're going to get into your fields and be sensitive about it, Stephen, I'll do that.
Thank you.
If you're going to be in your field, if you're going to ask me to be politically correct while trying to be politically correct on every that's fine.
Thank you, Crypto.
Because you got your feelings hurt about the term, but I have now introduced that terminology into the atmosphere.
I just asked
to be absorbed. Because if they go look at the 14 characteristics, the behavior of those people that don't give a damn about the Dolphins, they will understand.
Okay. All right.
Just type in 14 characteristics and you'll and tell me that these people don't freaking behave that way.
Is there anything else before?
That's all they need to do.
Okay. Is there anything else before?
I wanted to talk about the Chiefs before the other guy tried to gaslight me about Flores.
Are you kidding me? Okay.
When he tried to tell me that Flores can't build an offensive staff, and this so far this offensive regime is firing coaches on the offensive side too. Apparently, they can't build an offensive coaching staff neither.
Crypto, what should they call you for being a fluoneer, since every time Flores' name comes up, you get to start screaming and get in your
They don't call me nothing because I'm just simply stopping the gaslighting about this man and the demonization. They wonder why this man sued the organization, because they tried their best not to give him a second chance at the NFL. The media, everybody in the Miami ecosphere tried to freaking make sure that this man never get another job. They've obviously they failed tragically because freaking he got a job now with the Vikings. Now they're gonna be crying when the Vikings are a top 5 offense, and they went in there and they might be hoisting Lombardi next year because of it.
I don't know.
Now how they gonna be feel now?
I don't know about that. But
well, you can say you don't know about that at all because they got a perfect offense. They ain't got no offense is not their problem.
Offense. They have Kirk Cousins as their quarterback that can't do.
Well, he has better numbers than we got.
Well, they better not.
The wide receiver. Their one single wide receiver got offensive player of the year when they didn't need another fast guy. So apparently they must be doing something right. They didn't need another speed guy on the opposite side of Jefferson for him to become player of the year when they know the ball was going to him.
Hardaway says, "Talk your talk, Crypto." $2 donation.
So apparently, you could crap on the Vikings all you want, Steven.
Let me bring on. I got a lot of people back here. My goal was to try to bring one person on. I didn't want a whole thing. So that's what I'm gonna do. Crypto. Anything else before I let you go? Because I got a lot of people back here.
No, it's cool, Steven. It's a good day that we all know the Chiefs won. Now you guys are saying Mahomes were freaking Trent Dilfer because he lost Tyreek. How do you feel this morning right now?
Me?
MVP of the Super Bowl and the league when you guys said he was going to be no better than Trent Dilfer because he lost Tyreek.
And I
How
never
do you
said
guys feel this morning? Those were guys saying that at the beginning of the season he was going to have a tremendous drop off. They say he was going to crash and burn.
Miami fans
They were saying that.
They're like the Cowgirls, choke artist, top 5 offense did nothing. I agree.
Yeah, kind of like our top 10 offense did nothing. Congratulations. They won 11 games this year. How many did we win?
I got other people around here. I will talk to you later. Okay. I'm disappointed.
All right, Steven.
I'm disappointed in you today. I love you, but I'm disappointed in you.
I love you too, Steven. Just type in 14 characteristics and you know what I'm talking about.
I won't do it. You're off. You're gone. I love you. Crypto, I love you. You were dead wrong. Like that is such a, you can't say that. All right, who do I bring on next? I think this is Von Joe. Who's a Landon Roberts who?
Now, what we're going to be doing today, we're going to kill some nasty. That's what we do on Twitter, and that's what we do on YouTube. Crypto, salute. That's what we do to these tuners. We kill them. What's up, Steven?
Hello.
Do you have a newfound respect for Jalen Hurts?
I do have a newfound respect for Jalen Hurts. I apologized this morning, and I said that Jalen Hurts is hands down a top 10 quarterback in this league. Like, no questions, ands, ifs, or buts about it. The man plays anybody else yesterday, he wins a Super Bowl. And the man had 4 touchdowns yesterday, 3 of them rushing and threw for over 300 yards passing. He legit is a top 10 quarterback.
And he had more yards than anybody on that team rushing. He had 70 yards. It's all about the timing. Jalen Hurts is fast, but if you don't have he's not fast enough to where if he doesn't make quick decisions and take off running immediately, he won't get those yards. And I know I've always said that about Tua going back to his first, second year. Privately, with people that, he just sees those running lanes too late. When Tua takes off, he gets maybe back to the line of scrimmage, loses yards, or gets you maybe 1 yard. It's not a positive enough impact. Well, I mean, Jalen Hurts don't wait. If there's nothing there, he's going to do his progressions. He goes. But what could be the difference between Tua and Jalen Hurts is Jalen Hurts, as far as going through his progression, and I mean, a lot of people, he might not have the accuracy down, but it's getting there. I don't know if it'll ever get there, but he's definitely a student of the game. If you ever listen to the guy break down defenses,
he's very smart. He's very intuitive, and he plays the game. I like him. I like him a lot. I do.
I don't see that from Tua. I know Tua is more of an effort guy, but I don't see where he's Jalen Hurts mentally. And I think that's the difference between Tua and Jalen Hurts. No, I don't think. I know that's the difference because you're not going to see those running lanes unless you know what kind of defense you're looking at and when to run. So, I mean, the guy made it to the Super Bowl for a reason. You can say that they had a cupcake schedule.
I'll say this. There is no way, shape, or form that he makes the the Eagles make the Super Bowl without him. Hurts is the big, don't get me wrong. Their defense,
you want to say Hurts is him.
I will say I'm still I as much as I say I'm wrong, they had an easy schedule getting into the playoffs.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, bro. You said he's top 10. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm telling you right now. Hurts is him, bro.
No,
he's him. If you don't know it, bro,
he's good.
Did you not see?
You're making me say something negative about a man. The man is really good. The man is good. I'm not saying he's not. He had a great game yesterday, but he is not him. He's a top 10 quarterback in the league, but he is not him.
Well, I mean, did you see him pushing those pockets back on them run yards? I
was very impressed with that yesterday. If they have third and short,
bro, the leg strength. The leg. I mean, bro, that's not every quarterback in the league is going to give you that. Yes, they got a good offensive line, but there was times where he was hitting the right hole, and he had the leg strength to gain those yards. he wasn't an easy tackle for anybody. So I don't know, man. I mean, you could see. Well, my issue is with our fan base is they always crap on that kid, and they have always crapped on that kid just because of the draft class. And now, for me, it's officially 3 quarterbacks that came out of that class that are better than our guy. So, as far as
you can make that argument, and I'm not saying that you're right or wrong. I'm just saying
the boxes, the biggest box that those guys check that ours don't is better durability, and they all have the cachet in this league of have gone into the postseason. So, you know what I mean? It just kind of seems like everybody that is revolved around the Tua-verse is better than has had better experiences in the NFL than Tua so far. Trevor Lawrence went to the second round this year. Trevor Lawrence beat Tua heads up. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm kind of jealous. You know what I mean? To be honest, I'm jealous watching the Super Bowl, another Super Bowl Sunday, and I felt like we could have been there. You know what I mean? Not saying Tua will never get there, but right now, he don't have the experience that those other guys have. Now it sucks that his first experience is just the first playoff. I mean, first round exit. You know what I mean? You know the typical Dolphin fan. Oh well, we made it to the playoffs. We're happy. I mean, seriously, are we all thinking about that stupid playoff game against Buffalo this year? Are we really fulfilled with that? Because I know I'm not. I'm still pissed.
Look, Esther, I don't know if you've had a chance to really, express how you feel about everything. What I will tell you is I think that we've talked it out enough, at least on this channel, that's not the case. Like, we understand where we're at. We understand what the expectations were going into the season. We also understood that there were some pros, and you can take positive things out of. I know there's no moral victories. I get that. I understand that. But you have to play the season for what it is and say, okay, well, where are some of the positives and where can I draw from? And you could choose.
You can do that all day, but if you don't know what to address.
What I'm saying is you can choose to look at the glass half empty, or you can choose to look at it half full. I don't think nobody up here is sitting here saying, hey, you need to look at it like this. I can sit here and express to you, hey, this is how I'm looking at it. But what I'll say is, if Tua is indeed the 4th best quarterback of this draft, or he's the worst quarterback of the first round draft picks of the draft class, whatever it is, okay, we can also make the point that, man, if all these guys are having success and the Dolphins are having all these moves around him, the hope, HOPE, is that he steps up his game this coming up year and we get to see it. And what if he makes a Super Bowl this year? Okay. We don't know that. But to me, it made me think if he started above Jalen and Jalen, had this great run, it's got to make me believe, okay, hey, there's a hope that he can do the same thing or something similar to that and help us project us to that next level. And with Vic Fangio coming in as defensive coordinator, I'm excited about this coming up season. Personal opinion.
I think there's 2 things that Jalen Hurts to me is clearly better than Tua in it. You know what I mean? Right now, intelligence of the game and durability. Those 2, Tua doesn't have, and I don't know if he'll ever have that better than Jalen Hurts. To be honest, the guy has to prepare himself like a true professional.
Next year, he is your quarterback next year, Estefan.
No, I get that, but see, Look, I don't really have a problem with Tua or any of the coaches or the coaching staff. My problem is with our front office.
Okay.
That they don't take the fan base serious enough to actually. I think they're lazy, bro. I think they suck at scouting because look at the impact that Nick Bolton had yesterday, and we're still sitting here with our fingers stuck up our ass trying to figure out if we're ever going to get an inside linebacker, and why one of our last good inside linebackers is going into the Hall of Fame already, and we still haven't had a replacement, bro. Nick Bolton was in that draft. You could have still found a way to keep some of your capital. Because we gave a lot of away to move around. I mean, I like Waddle, bro, but Devontae Smith was still sitting there too, and that guy had a dang good game yesterday, bro. Like there was It was that draft was loaded with wide receivers. The one thing it wasn't loaded with was it had it was top heavy, was linebacker, bro. And we could have had Nick Bolton, and they passed on him. I'm just saying we could have had somebody already.
So you're frustrated,
but that's how bad they.
Your frustration level is with the front office and how their talent evaluation is. I get that.
They suck, bro. I'm telling you, I've gone through and watched film on players. That's why I knew Liam Eichenberg sucked. You remember when I was telling you he sucked? Way long time ago before everybody else?
To be fair, what about Cater Kahoo? Where did he come from? Did we pull him out of thin air?
No, they said that Boyer was the one that went and scouted him. But they have they have a multitude of people. Let me tell you something. I'm going to be honest with you, bro.
And this is and I'm not saying you, but this is my problem. You gave me an argument on what their issue was and an example of them not doing it well. I then gave one back to you and say, well, what about Cater Kahoo? And your first answer, your answer to me was, well, allegedly.
Well, you could have done better than Cater Kahoo. You could have, man, Tyreek Woolen went in the 6th round, bro.
Even if he did.
That kid was tied for first in picks, and he was 3rd in pass breakups and went to the Pro Bowl. Would you have rather had that over Cater Kahoo? Because we still had picks. We could have picked him. That's what I'm telling you, bro. There are talented guys that are more impactful, bro. Would you rather have Cater Kahoo or would you rather have Tyreek Woolen? Would you rather have Chad and Tindall right now, or would you rather have the kid, Malcolm Rodriguez from the Lions, bro? He was taken in the 4th round, bro.
That's the thing. Calm down.
Round of first-year impact already for that team.
That's the thing. I am not sitting here saying that the Dolphins have not made mistakes in the front office with signing and their talent evaluation. And I will be the first one to be very critical of some of their processes and who they've chosen to choose or not choose in drafts or undrafted.
Let me tell you where I'm at, Steven.
But
to all the Dolphin fans, let me tell you where I'm at, bro. To all the Dolphin fans that are getting ready for free agency.
I'm going to let you go after your statement because I want to bring on other people. But go ahead.
Okay. This is it. That's all I got to say. To all the Dolphin fans that are getting ready and hyped up for free agency and the draft, you might as well forget about it because they don't know what the hell they're doing anyways. Because every prospect that you're going to look for and look into, they ain't going to pick them anyways because they don't know what the hell they're doing, bro. And that's just the fact. Unless it's a guy that everybody knows about, they don't know shit. And that's all there is to it. Anybody could have picked Snowman, and anybody could have picked Jalen Phillips, bro. Those were clearly the best 2 guys at their position whenever Greer drafted them. I'm sorry. I'm not going to give them credit. I think people give them too much credit. They suck, and that's at drafting. They suck at scouting, and that's all there is to it, bro. Because if they knew what they were doing, we wouldn't have to. Now we have to backtrack because they suck ass at other picks, like our tight end. That kid that we got from BC, what the hell's his name? I already forgot his name. Him, Eichenberg, guys like that. You know what I mean? We're going to get rid of Gesicki. This kid still hasn't even gave us the production that we need. Hunter Long. Eichenberg, he's not even a starter. Now we got to go back in the draft. We got to go get another lineman. We got to go get another tight end if we want one. Bro, come on. But what is that? If you got to backtrack, it's because you don't know what you're doing, bro. So that's what it is with me and this team, bro. That's where I'm frustrated. I don't have nothing against Tua, nothing against the coaching staff. It ain't their fault that they don't know how to scout. So that's it, bro. Oh, right. Well, Mert, happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Zach Thomas, baby.
I love you, Aston. Be good, brother. All right, Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers. Hey, look, I don't have to agree with your takes, and I do not agree with his at all. But I think you are entitled to have your take, and you're entitled to feel the way you feel. And here on Clock Blockers, we allow you to have that. All right. So that's what I want. I want you to know all takes are welcome. They don't have to be good one, but they're all here. Okay. And the people that choose to come on are the people that are upset. And I have 10 available lines. And right now there's 5 people in the back room here. So there's 5 more people that can get in and wait in line. And if you're positive or you want to say the positive, you can do. The people that are choosing to come up here just feel the same, feel how they feel. So everybody's allowed to get up here. Okay. All right. If you want to get up here, the link is pinned to the top of the page. Again, if you like the fact that I allow people to come up here and they might say crazy stuff, and they have so far this morning. But I try to hold it down and I try to cut it off when it gets a little crazy. But look, Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Vince Take said this is a platform for everyone. The Wolfpack is always crying and love voicing their terrible opinions. You know what? Speaking of the Wolfpack, let me bring him in. Lewis. Good morning, Lewis.
Good morning, Steven.
What's up, buddy? How are you?
Listen, for everybody in the chat, Steven does a great job taking over Washington, D.C., Baltimore, and the Jets. But the Wolfpack is here to take over.
I don't do the Jets. That's Dolphins NYC. The Ravens. It'll be the Ravens, the Eagles, and DC this year. But I got you. Okay. I don't want to step on Dolphins NYC. They do their thing.
Okay, they do their thing. Well, the Wolfpack is here to take over today's show then. Because that's what we're doing. We're taking this thing over.
Go ahead, Lewis. It's all yours.
No, man. Hey, what's going on? Why is everybody so upset?
Look, I think that some people have very extreme. I mean, we can say that we're in an extreme time as a fan base. Look, we watched the Super Bowl last night. And what did we see? We started seeing YouTube promote their NFL Sunday ticket package. And YouTube is a place for every Lewis, you're gone for 10 minutes. All love, Lewis. I'm ended this Wolfpack streak momentarily. Man, Cruz. Man, I'm sorry, Lewis. Hey, I don't necessarily mute people, but the people have a chance to mute people. And Cruz said, you're gone for 10 minutes, cuz. Typical show. Awesome. Okay. Here's what I'll say. I think we live in an extreme moment in extreme times right now where we've never been in a moment where everybody has access to everybody in our society, in our country's history. Do I think fans have always been this extreme? I do. I do think fans have always been this extreme. Or at least close to it. But you times that or add to that the social media impact, being on YouTube, being able to hear everybody's places, then you have to understand this is the world that we live in. And people right now are, as far as fans are pissed. They want to win. They're sick of the mediocrity. They're sick of the 9-8, the 10-9s, the 10-8s with 10-7s, whatever. The 6-10s, whatever. They are sick of it. They want to win, and they're sick of it. Miami fan talk show said the sun is out, ladies and gentlemen. Birds are chirping, and Lewis is back on, people. Why can't we be friends?
I try to tell them all the time, don't come for me. I try to tell them all the time, don't come for me. I got my boys with me. Money's long. The money is long in the chat. Just leave me alone.
Oh, my goodness.
Man.
Oh, my goodness. All right, Lewis, the floor is back on yours. You heard what I said. I mean, do you agree with that? Everybody can hear everybody's opinion now because there's panel shows and there's YouTube. And so people are just pissed off because they are sick of the mediocrity. And I think whether you're a 2-and-ear or a Wolfpack or a non-2-and-ear or a non-Wolfpack, you can agree that we're sick of the losing. We're all sick of the losing.
Absolutely. But see, this is where people are getting their feelings, right? No one is coming out here and saying that Tua Tagovailoa is a bad quarterback. At least, again, there are people that say, I'm not going to be one of those people. I do see the improvements that Tua made this season. No one is denying that. Mm-hmm. But again, what was the narrative going into the Super Bowl? Again, you had said it, Steven, right? You didn't believe in Jalen Hurts really like that.
I said I didn't believe in the Eagles. I thought the Eagles were I thought they had a cakewalk into the playoffs. And I said, I don't know how I feel about Jalen. But what I will say is anybody who scores 4 touchdowns in a Super Bowl and throws for over 300 yards passing and 3 rushing touchdowns, I mean,
exactly.
I mean, if he plays any other team yesterday, odds are they win that game and he's the Super Bowl MVP, like point blank.
I agree. I agree with that statement 100%. But see, the problem is everybody tried to tell me, and I had a long conversation after the Super Bowl yesterday with a couple of people. And the Eagles are more of a run-based football team, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, the running game didn't look good yesterday, right? Miles Sanders didn't do anything.
I mean, the leading rusher was Jalen Hurts with 70 yards.
And thank you. So this is the attributes that Tua will never be able to bring. No one's saying that he's not a very accurate passer. No one's saying that he's not a good quarterback. But when things fail around the quarterback, when we see things fall or fail around Tua, Tua just can't succeed. Last night, Jalen Hurts didn't have the running game. So what did he do? He put the team on his back, and he did the running game himself. Also throwing for 300. So why are we labeled haters, right? When we come out and just point out the obvious flaws or lack of,
because as I was stating earlier to Estefan, and I'll say the same thing to you, Lewis, is if we're looking at the same thing, you can choose to look at the negative points, and I can choose to sit here and say, well, you know what, there are positives out of this, and here they are, X, Y, and Z. Let me label them for you. Let me point them out to you. And if you can't, and if during a conversation we happen to talk about another player who's comparative, or compare another player to that same position, when people bring up certain statistics or certain attributes and use those same things, why can't I do that for Tua? Why am I not allowed for Tua to sit here and say those same things? And not just for Tua, anybody for that matter, right? Even with the Jalen Hurts conversation. And then why am I also not allowed, when I have new information or witness new things or witnessing him on a Super Bowl game play out of his mind, for me to say, look, man, I was a little wrong. I never said that Jalen was bad. I never said that Jalen didn't have a great year. I said I put question marks on that team. I'm still not sold that they're one of the best. But that game was 38-35. That was a great game last night. And I said I honestly expected Kansas City to blow them out the water, and they didn't. They didn't do it. So, you know, I have new information now. So I'm now, which is why you call me a flip-flopper, which is fine. But I believe that when I have new information, I'm allowed to make a new or different decision or view of something.
Absolutely. But okay, so if we're having the conversation, Stephen, I'll just ask you flat out. When you look at the three other quarterbacks, because there's four, Jordan Love hasn't seen the field, we'll leave him out of it. Is it wrong when Esther comes out and says in that 2020 draft, we got the fourth best quarterback in that draft?
Nope, accurate. It's an accurate statement right now, because if you look at it, Joe Burrow went to a Super Bowl, and has been to two AFC championship games, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Jalen Hurts been to an NFC championship game and been to a Super Bowl. Yep.
Correct.
Justin Herbert played
in a playoff game, which Tua Tagovailoa
has not. That's fair. That it is a fair statement in which facts can be proven to support your theory or your statement. I also believe that I like what you said. He's the fourth best quarterback from that draft. He's not the worst quarterback of that draft. He's the fourth best. And right now, I still think that it's fair that out of all those teams, and I'm gonna and by the way, the statement I'm about to make, you might say, that's all the more reason you should be like, how is he not better than what he is? I'm going to say that he has the best talent around him out of all those four guys. And so it gives me the hope to be like, the only thing that's not better is the offensive line. The offensive line needs to improve.
Well, that's what I agree with. Well, I agree with the offensive line, right? Especially with the Eagles. But if you're telling me that Miles Sanders is any better than Raheem Mostert, he's not. They're the same guy. Those are not mainstream guys. I wouldn't say Miles Sanders.
By the way, you know what I saw? Just a side note, Lewis. You know what I saw last night? I saw a tweet that was really, really good, and they showed the last 10 winning the Super Bowl winning starting running backs, and only 4 of them or 3 of them made over $1 million. All of them were like on veteran minimums or league minimums.
Yep.
You do not need Derrick Henry to win a Super Bowl. You do not need a Christian McCaffrey to win a Super Bowl.
I agree 100%.
Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson are more than capable of being in a good backfield. What is good, now I can go look, is having a good offensive line. You need that to win a Super Bowl.
And I would agree with that.
And I think that conversation, Lewis and I will agree with all day. Forget the Tua conversation. You need that all day. Now, can we go back and cherry pick great running backs that have helped won Super Bowls? Of course we can. We can, of course, do that. But we can say the last 10, none of all, with the exception of 3. And I think the highest one was like $3 million or $4 million. That was it. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, and I see Cap in the private chat. He's talking about, let me debunk the narrative. And I know he wants a bell cow running back, and that's fine. But again, if you're going to try to pay a running back $8 to $10 to $12 million, you're taking away from other aspects. See, I would rather, to your point, Stephen, I would rather bring back a Mostert and a Jeff Wilson Jr. But if we're going to solidify that offensive line, you see what I'm saying? Go put that money into the line, which is, again, that's going to help the running game and protect Tua.
And to Estefan's point a little bit ago, I don't even think we need to go out and get a tight end, because I think between a healthy Ethan Carter, Tanner Connor having another year under his belt, along with Durham Smythe, and hopefully Hunter Long's improvement. And even if Hunter Long doesn't, I still think that those 3 guys at tight end could be very well, along with Alec Ingold, who played a lot from the tight end this year, right? So I don't think we need to go out and get a tight end either. And I'm just being real. So if we don't need to go out and get a tight end, and we don't need to go out and get a running back, besides we need to re-sign Jeff Wilson or Raheem Mostert or whoever's that needs to be re-signed, right? And we need, that means on the offensive side, the money we can use is to shore up the offensive line. Let's go. Because technically we have everything in-house to be a successful offense right now, minus a really good offensive line. Would you agree with that statement, Lewis?
I agree. 1,000%. It's not even close. Go solidify this offensive line. Go get a big time linebacker. Maybe go get, and I kind of agreed with you, Stephen. I wouldn't mind having a James Bradbury. And
I would love James Bradbury. Would love James Bradbury. He's an available free agent.
Absolutely.
All day I take him.
I think you solidify this offensive line. Go get a linebacker, go get a corner, and I think this team is all off and running. And that's even with Tua. So that's where I'm going to surprise a lot of people. I'm not crapping on Tua. And before I get out of here, Stephen, because I know you got a lot of people, just my perspective of last night's game, and I was saying it earlier in the chat. I get it. Yes, the man did hold, but it wasn't like one of these egregious holds where we've seen it before. While the receiver is running down the field, he's holding, he's pulling the jersey. It wasn't like that. He held him for a second. My big thing is they always pick up the flags when the ball is deemed uncatchable. Bro, look at Juju Smith-Schuster. I think he's standing at the 7 or 8 yard line. The ball was basically at the back pylon of that corner of the end zone. He wasn't catching that ball even if he wasn't touched. And I'm just saying, bro, it was such a great game. I was enjoying myself. 2 evenly matched teams going back and forth. Basically, when that call happened, all they did was take 3 knees and kick a field goal with 8 seconds. You took the game, in my opinion, the referees, and because I even mentioned it to you, Steve, how does a team that had 70-plus sacks in a season, and there's not one holding call by Kansas City, right? And to your point, which I agree with, I think the referees were letting them play. Well, in that situation, if you're letting them play the whole game, bro, you cannot.
Why would you throw the flag in that situation there?
Because you're ending the game. The referees put the game in their hand. And again, bro, me and you up here right now, you're not a Kansas City fan, I'm not an Eagle fan. We had no dog invested in this fight. Nope. But I am also a fan of the NFL, and I just feel like I was robbed of a great game. I would have loved to.
Let me interrupt.
Stephen, when that play happened, let's just be honest. It was 3rd down, right? If that play doesn't get the flag, they kick a field goal, and the Eagles with 2 timeouts get the ball with about 1 minute and 50 seconds. I would have much rather see that scenario than the scenario that played out. You see what I'm saying? We got robbed, bro. As fans, we got robbed.
Let me tell you, I was a little biased because I screwed up yesterday on the Super Bowl box pool that we had. I said final score would get that 4th payout, but I said on my stream, I said, whatever the 4th quarter score is, we'll get the payout. So knowing I said that on the stream and knowing I said what it said on the thing, I was like, do not go to overtime. End this game now. So I was a little happy that the game ended the way that it ended, because I didn't know how that was going to go. If it went into overtime, I had no idea what I was going to do. I was like, oh, I screwed up. because I said I contradicted myself in 2 different ways, and I was like, I don't want to screw up this. Now I'll know for the future that final score means final score, or fourth quarter means fourth quarter next time I do a Super Bowl box bowl. But I was scared. Let me tell you, I was scared, Lewis, in that fourth quarter at the end there. I was like, this better not go to overtime. What I will say to you is, when it comes to the flags, I think for the most part, I don't have a problem if refs call a game a lot or don't. Just be consistent on both sides. And the one play where they weren't, and I'll also say, look, refs aren't perfect. They'll make mistakes. I'm telling you, the refs were not a factor yesterday till that play. And so I also think that they were pretty much perfect the whole day. There was the time clock thing that I think in the fourth quarter, the third quarter, where I noticed, where I was like, man, this is the second time they've had an issue with the clock start, in a big time game. They need to get this under control. But I was like, when I said it, when I was, in the post game, and I'm reading people's comments on Twitter, and I'm like, I don't think the refs did a bad job. It wasn't a bad call. It's just a call you would not like to see at the end of a Super Bowl. And it wasn't as egregious as people think, but it was hands down a flag. Like, you can't deny that it wasn't a flag. So I have to go, if I can't deny that it wasn't a flag, and people are saying it wasn't catchable. Well, he held. That's why it wasn't catchable.
Well, so then no, Stephen. But hold on, Stephen. Let's call a spade though. That ball's getting thrown to, bro. But that ball's getting thrown to Juju Smith-Schuster. My 7-year-old runs faster than that kid. Let's be honest. If that's Tyreek Hill, you have an argument, because he can catch up to, in my opinion, to any ball.
That's not. But bro, so, Juju
wasn't catching up to that.
All right, so Lewis, here we go. This is why robots should never call games, and there should never be a robotic system. It should always be humans calling the games. But the issue is, with humans calling the game, is you are going to have human error and then human judgment calls. So then, Lewis, if you're stating that if it was Tyreek, I could see why that was. But it was Juju Smith-Schuster. That's a judgment call. And guess what you get with a judgment call? You get human error. And so at the end of the day, I'm not mad at the refs. I'm not. He chose to look at it the way he looked at it. He chose to throw the flag, which you can argue that it was. You can debate. You can show that it was. So yeah, but you're seeing it was another wide receiver.
Yeah, but when you look at it on Twitter and stuff, you're looking at screenshots, right? You're looking at a photo. And yes, at that moment when the photo that they're putting out, yes, he did hold him. But we can't sit here and lie, Stephen. Most egregious holdings, you see them pulling jerseys out of the people's pants.
As a Miami Dolphins fan, I have legit seen worse calls that were not called, or worse plays that were not called. But what I can tell you is, okay, what I can tell you is that, in my opinion, it doesn't matter. The fact that people, here's the problem. You know why it's a big deal? I like what G just said. The issue is now people have all this money on the game, more than ever before. There was more money betted on the Super Bowl this year than ever in the history of the Super Bowl. They said on record it doubled from like what, last year or the year before that or something like that, the amount of money that was bet on this game. And so people are louder about it, or more boisterous about it, because they lost money on the Super Bowl. If people don't lose money, you don't get as much of a crying or an out loud cry or a public outcry for it. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. Yeah,
that's what I think that you see the big public outcry of, is because people lost money on it. And what do you do when that happens? So look, I'll say this, man. I thought it was a good game. I thought it was a good game. I thought the referees, out of a scale of 1 to 10, I thought that they were 7.5. You can argue an 8, which I think in the scheme of things of a Super Bowl or most games that I watch, on average, I think referees are like 6, 5.5. I don't think referees are all that good. So if I'm giving them the lowest 7.5 and the highest maybe 8.5, I think that's really good. You're going to get some human error. That's going to happen. and it's not going to be perfect. And it wasn't. But for the most part, they were complete in both on how they called the game the entire night until that one last call. And that's the biggest thing that you can voice them on. And it does suck that that call decided the outcome of a Super Bowl, because as football fans, if you had nothing invested into it or anything, that we would have wanted to see a more exciting, final
ending to the game.
Yes.
Well, and that's my point. As a fan, I didn't have nothing invested. My Dolphins were not playing yesterday. But just as a fan, I would have liked to see a 38-35 game with the Eagles having a chance to either send it to overtime or win it outright. And to your point, I get what you said. Everything about human error and stuff, that's fine. Give me the human error quarters 1 through 3. I can live with that. But don't give me human error with 1:45 left to go in the game. Because basically with that referee's call, you ended the game. I didn't have to see the last 1 minute and 45 seconds.
I'm going to leave
the outcome.
I'm going to leave you on for a second and have Cap for Life come up here so people can't say that I because last week they were trying to say I had all 2 ears on against one. No, I can take on people that are against me most times. So I'm just going to do this, and then after you two are finished, I'll bring on one at a time again. But Cap for Life, good morning, Cap.
What's up, Cap?
Good morning. Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good, man. I just wanted to say real quick, because I'm about to pick up a pub sub, and I'm going to check out Hangry Owls on Friday. So with that being said, man, just a shout out to Hangry Owls, man. We support you, and I will support my hunger over there on Friday. Now, as far as like the support aspect, let's stick with that. I just want to send a shout out to Chad Henne, who's retiring, a 2-time champ, former Dolphin player. Shout out to another former Dolphin getting another Super Bowl. And yeah, man, just since everybody doesn't want to talk about the situation to a Radio Row, pretty much bait and switch, I'll pretty much say it like this, man. If you have a new PR team that's trying to set up a foundation to repair your image, they did a crappy job of repairing his image, my friend. You don't go into a situation. Well, let me finish. You don't go into a situation where you have to answer hard-hitting questions, but you go to not the alphas, but you go to the betas of the media. Then you go to the alpha, which is supposedly known as Dan Le Batard, who ends up asking beta questions. But then you go and your PR team goes and cancels the whole media deal when you're about to go get asked hard-hitting questions. I mean, for me, that's not a good image that you're trying to uphold coming into a new season, but I digress. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, man, just a shout out to Chad Henne for, winning another Super Bowl. And yeah, man, I really don't have anything else to say but that. It's just very shameful for me to know that our quarterback is just there to hype up Subway and to tell me how he's going to learn how to fall correctly next season. I appreciate you, gentlemen. Have a good one.
I can't argue with that, Cap. Listen, I can't. I'm going to leave that subject alone.
No, here's what I'll say. So I don't know. I know of the Pat McAfee situation where Tua was alleged or supposed to go up there. He was, agreed to go up, and then he didn't. And I have not heard the Pat McAfee side. I know there's a statement from Pat, and it's on social media and on YouTube, and I just haven't heard it yet. What I'll say is, I think that, and I'm not necessarily being careful with what I say. I just want to be tactful in what I say. I think that Tua is a very interesting personality, and I think people are going to interpret their own viewpoints. If his new PR team said that they didn't want to necessarily answer X questions, and Pat McAfee said, no, we're going to ask these questions if he comes up here, it's all within Tua's right. He has every right to say, okay, I don't want to be subject to those questions. I don't feel like I have to give y'all an answer. And that's his prerogative. If his prerogative is not anybody's business but my own, I'm dealing with it in my own way, and I feel like that's how I want to deal with it, so be it. If y'all are going to sit here and like critique and bash the man because he doesn't want to answer stupid questions or certain questions, I don't want to say stupid, certain questions, that's his prerogative. Now, you and I can sit here and think, hey, man, look, You don't see certain other quarterbacks running away from these questions. I get that. I understand the look or how it might look, but he also had to know that if I don't go on this channel, that they are going to publicly say, look, I love Pat McAfee. I think his podcast is the best podcast out in sports. Personal opinion.
I would agree.
Because he does answer the questions. I think if it wasn't for Pat's podcast, Aaron Rodgers would be canceled already. Aaron has a chance to be on his platform and say what he feels. I don't agree with half the stuff that comes out of Aaron's mouth, but to me, it's his opinion, and I get where he's coming from, and I can observe how he views his perspective. And I'm like, okay, get it, understand it, right? And I'm okay with it. You don't always have to agree with everything that somebody says. You and I are really good friends. You don't agree with half the stuff that comes out of my mouth, and the same thing for you when it comes to views on football and maybe even political, whatever it is. You know, I don't keep politics on the show, but whatever it is. But what I will say is, if he decided that he didn't want to do it, he knew that there would be a public backlash for that too, or how it would deem it. And he chose that I'll take the public backlash over going on and hitting the hard-hitting questions. And for me, all I care about as a fan is proving yourself on the field. Who cares if he said whatever he said off the field? If he goes out on Sundays and wins football games next year, I don't care. And I don't think you will either, Lewis. And if he doesn't go out and win football games, he's not going to be here the year after anyway. And we're going to be stuck in the same cycle that we've been in as Dolphin fans for the last 30 years, which is a merry-go-round of a revolving door of quarterbacks. Right or wrong?
I mean, listen, you didn't say nothing wrong, Steven. But for me, I kind of more tend with Cap, and this is why. It wasn't even the Pat McAfee show. See, when Tua was on the Dan Le Batard show, and I'll be one of the, because I was on Twitter and YouTube, and we've had this discussion already. The question that was asked to Tua was, in my opinion, it was wrong. I'm not going to debate that with anybody. You cannot ask somebody if they die on the field, would your family sue the Miami Dolphins? It's an absolute outrageous question to ask that young man. But at the end of the day, all he had to tell Dan Le Batard, I think that question was disrespectful. And even if he wanted to walk away from that interview at that moment, say, hey, I feel disrespected, I'm leaving, I'm out of here. But no, he sat there and continued that interview. And they started telling him, well, you're scheduled to go with Mike Florio and Chris Sims. They've been slandering you all year. They don't have the respect for you. And that's the interview for me that he canceled. And it looked weak in my opinion, and I'll tell you why. Bro, we've been in that stadium, Steven. When those players get announced from the smoke and the fire and the beautiful presentation, Tua has a C on his chest, homie. He's the leader. He is the face of the franchise. I would have much rather had Tua come out and sit in front of Mike Florio and Chris Sims and let us know, as the fans, me and you, the consumers, that we buy his jerseys, we buy the tickets, go over there and answer those tough questions.
Okay,
show us that you're the leader, bro. You have to. Tua's got to start letting his nuts hang, Steven. He has to, bro.
All right, so Lewis, let's debate a little bit here. If Tua thinks that the best thing for his career is to stay around positive people, and the people that have been critical of him, he really doesn't want to associate himself with. He knows two things. If I go on to Chris Sims's podcast and Florio's podcast, that it's going to get views. So I'm going to help them feed their negativity or breed more people onto their. I'm going to choose not to go up there. I don't want to support their platform. I don't want to support their thing. If that's his process, is that a wrong way to think about it?
Yes. And
no,
why.
I disagree. Disagree.
But you're not going over. You got to defend. So again, right? Chris Sims and Mike Florio, right, talk not only stuff about Tua Tagovailoa, but they say the Miami Dolphins are not close. The Miami Dolphins are not a good team, right? That's the narrative they're pushing. Mm-hmm. Well, you're the leader, bro. Go debate that.
That's not his job. His job is to win football games, Lewis, not defend the state of the Miami Dolphins. Tua doesn't know any of us anything except to go out and win football games. He does owe us that.
It's weak-minded, Steven, because at the end of the day, no. This is why, Steven. You have a platform, correct?
Correct.
Me and you have win at it. You and Crypto have win at it. You and multiple Von Joe, y'all go at it, right?
PD, everybody. I've gone at it with everybody on this channel.
Do you show up every day to go to work, Steven?
Every single day.
Do you defend yourself, Steven?
All the time.
Do you defend your platform, Steven?
I try.
Thank you. Why? And no one comes out here and says,
but it's not easy. It's tough, but that's my job, right? That's my job. My job is to do that.
And
His job is to take a football and win football games for the Miami Dolphins. My job is to be critical, is to be tactful, is to be supportive, or whatever I decide to be as a fan. Somebody said earlier, I said fans are the most extreme that they've ever been. But the reality is, somebody said fan is short of fanatical, and that's what it is. Fanatical is extreme, and that's what we are. So if we could give somebody with a checkered past, we could forgive someone for canceling an interview. I agree with that. I think it's ridiculous that it was even a story that he canceled the interviews. And I disagree with you, Lewis, because I don't think his job is to defend the Miami Dolphins. There are plenty of people that lead in different ways. Derek Jeter was a leader for the New York Yankees for 20-something years, and that man rarely, ever did anything in the New York media. And if you know anything about the New York media, you know how horrible they can be. You know how crazy they can be. How they can. You talk about media markets. New York's one of the worst. And Derek Jeter went out there and won World Series, so he didn't have to say anything. But even in the latter part of his career, where they weren't winning, he still, because he doesn't owe the media or necessarily the fans anything except to go out on the field and win and put the best forth his best effort to win. And that's what Tua owes us. Tua owes us a winner.
And he hasn't done that. And
Not
the
yet.
reason. And reason, and Derek Jeter, in the lighter of his career, the New York media didn't go after him. The man
they tried. Go watch the
It was more about women. It was more about women, though.
Okay, but still,
it was about the women he dated. Nothing that he was doing on the field or off the field. They were going after him because of the
what has Tua done off the field besides be a model citizen?
Look weak-minded.
That's your opinion,
Stephen.
That is your opinion. And it's a wrong one, by the way.
When Tua, there's pressure applied to Tua, not on the field, off the field. When people are criticizing him, when the coaches are going at him and stuff, he folds, bro. We all know it. He does.
No, it does not.
Before I go, bring Alexander up. Alexander's been addressing me. Let me debate Alexander.
Okay, go ahead.
Get out of here.
No, you can stay on, Lewis. You can stay on as long as you want today. Lewis, you can be my co-host for today. You can stay on as long as you want because you, sir. Go. All right, I'll let Alex come up.
You love me, Stephen.
I do love you. I do love you, but you are dead wrong. Alex, good morning, Alex.
What's good, Alex?
What's up, guys? Listen.
What's up, bro?
Listen, man. If somebody asks you a question like that, I don't care. If I was I would have done the same thing. I would have canceled everything because you don't ask a dumb question like that. Dumb question like that.
We asked
that is the most stupidest question you can ask anybody.
Let him go, Lewis. Let him go.
Murder. Oh, you're gonna charge Dolphins with murder? What kind of human being even is? Dan Le Batard is a disgusting human being for even asking that.
I don't know if Dan Le Batard is a disgusting human being, but I think it was. I don't like the question. I never would have asked that.
Let me tell you. No. Let me just say this. If a question like that is even asked, that's exactly what's in your heart. That's exactly what you feel is in your heart. Just like a racist person. If a racist person goes up to somebody,
Alexander, that's an extreme take, and you're looking at it from an extreme point of view. Now, was his question something that was disgusting and I wouldn't have asked? Yeah, I would never have asked that, and I don't think I ever would even think to ask that question. But that's my point of view, or that's my thought process of it. But I'm not going to sit here and say Dan Le Batard is a horrible human being.
No, he is. I think he is. I'm going to boycott Dan Le Batard from now on. I'm going to boycott him.
Alex, I love you, but Dan Le Batard is not hurting because you're not going to listen to his platform anymore.
Hey, that's fine because I think anybody that's with me should boycott him.
Noob says walk off. Noob says walk off the show. You don't cancel other shows. It looks weak. That was the narrative all day.
Oh, come on, Noob. Really, Noob? Come on, man. Don't do that.
595 says, no, Steven, it was disgusting. It's not even debatable. It's not extreme, bro. You don't question the murder. You don't word a question with murder. I mean, I get it. I would never do it. But why?
You know, just like. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Alex. I want you to finish. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, you know, of course you're gonna feel some type of way after you've been asked that. Like, and first of all, Sims and 40 are a bunch of clowns as well. You know, they've been clowns from the get-go. You know, with their dumb takes. Everybody wants to say how I have dumb takes, yet they're dumb, just in their own mind.
With your dumb butt. With your dumb butt. Them dumb butts over there.
And another thing is this: that was the right call.
Here's what it. You know what's funny? I didn't even see I have not seen all of his Radio Row appearances, and I've only heard takes from social media, because I've been busy with 50 million other things in my life and haven't really had a chance. But what I'll say is, from what I know, what I will do after the show is probably do a deeper dive into it. What did he cancel? We still don't know for sure. I hear it was because they didn't want to agree to his terms. So why waste?
Florio and Sims.
So it was Pat McAfee and Florio and Sims, as far as I know. I don't know if there was anybody else.
I heard it was the ESPN crew that was out there as well. I guess the NFL Live crew with like Mina Kimes, Marcus Spears, and Ryan Clark and them. I heard he had something with them as well.
But again, a bunch of people that spoke against Tua.
There you go, right here.
That's Steven, what it is.
You see, Steven, this is the problem right here. What Alex is saying.
But his job. He's
calling Mike Florio and Chris Sims. Tua shouldn't do that interview because they were mean to him. That's what Alex just said.
They were clowns. They're clowns. Okay. They're not only that, they're just clowns in their own way.
Okay, that's fine. So Tua can only do interviews that are positive and are going to
paint true.
Him. That's what Alex is saying.
No, that's not true at all.
We're not saying that. I don't believe that's what he's saying. He's saying he chose.
When I brought up the ESPN crew, what did Alex say? Oh, a bunch of people that have slandered Tua. Ain't that what you said, Alex?
I saw that a bunch of people that have spoke against Tua.
Okay,
Same thing.
So then Tua can only do interviews that are going to be peaches and cream and licking ice cream.
But
no,
that's
but
what we're talking about.
So all right, so time out.
Right,
if Tua went on a platform, if Tua went on Levitard, and from what I know, Levitard's actually been supportive of Tua. Am I not wrong in saying that too?
No, you're absolutely, and so has Pat McAfee as well.
Pat is too. So he said, all right, if this is the line of questioning that I'm probably going to get for the day, I don't even want to deal with the interviews. I don't think this is wrong. I don't think there's nothing he did that was wrong. Exactly. He chose to not even deal with it. He's like, I'll just cancel everybody at this point. Like, I'm just not going to deal with it. And it just sucks that. But now, if his PR team didn't tell him, hey, look, you cancel all these interviews, they're gonna Pat McAfee's gonna say something. Florio's gonna say something. It's gonna come out and you're gonna be looked at. He might have said, I don't care. They're not, all I care about is my family and my team and what they think of me. And that's all I care about. And you know what? That's all he needs to care about. I'm not mad at him. Win football games. You don't win football games, then we can argue about the little thing. Win football games.
He can sit there and say,
football games. Don't care about these stupid
we're a good team.
Don't. He chose not to deal with the BS. I ain't mad at him. Let him go. Let him go.
Of course not. So then why do the interviews then?
Why? Because he was promoting for Subway. He was there with Subway. Allie was with Tua this weekend. She got to hang out with him a little bit. He was there with Subway.
Okay, so again, you think Subway liked it that he canceled those interviews?
Subway don't care.
So why did they hire him? So then why did they hire him then? If they don't care, and they don't care.
Because just as much as you're just as loud, just like y'all haters want to be all loud and everything about him, he's got supporters in his corner too that will be like, I'll go eat Subway because Tua eats Subway.
Yeah,
I'll go ahead and eat. Now let's get
the great garlic.
I personally will go eat Hangry Owls. I'm a Hangry Owls kind of guy. I think their subs are the best. I don't think anybody will disagree with me. Hangry Owls is the best subs. But I'm just saying, like from Tua State, they didn't care. You think Subway cared? No. Make commercials for us.
Subway didn't care, man. They
didn't care. If they didn't care, If they didn't care, they wouldn't have hired him. They used him because again he's a face.
And Lewis, let me say this: if we find out that Subway is no longer endorsing Tua, then maybe we have something to talk about. But even then, I'm not going to care. I'm not going to care about it.
Hey, Subway supported Happy Gilmore, so
yeah, that's ridiculous. The kid looked weak. You're at media row. The who's who of the NFL is there. And again, he's the only one that walked away from interview.
You know, and you know what? You know why Subway doesn't care? Because we're sitting here talking about Subway on YouTube right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
you guys are talking about Subway.
Out of the 100, you said their name too. Out of the 100 people that are watching right now, one person will go eat Subway today. They'll be like, you know what? I'm going to go eat Subway.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So Lou, what would you have done? What would you have done?
I would have kept doing the interviews. Absolutely. Alexander, this is what the problem is right here, and this is what I was trying to tell Steven. You know how many every day I show my face in Twitter or on a YouTube panel, I got people in the chat calling me every name in the book, coming after my family and stuff. And guess what? Tomorrow morning,
because they're pieces of garbage. That's why.
But tomorrow morning, guess where I'll be? Sports music, because that stuff don't affect me. I don't care what someone says about me or the question I might be asked. I don't care because I'm a man. That's what I was telling Steven. People come at Steven all the time, but Steven's out here. Steven ain't running from the smoke. Steven ain't canceling the show and telling everybody, well,
I'll say this. If y'all see some of the hate that I get on a day in, day out basis and what I've been called, like y'all would, yeah, it's bad.
But Steven, they're pieces of garbage. That's why. The people that come after you and your family.
Like, all I care about is what my family thinks of me and what my closest circle thinks of me.
1,000%.
Exactly.
That's it. But again, it just.
But I'm not. But I will also say, Lewis, I also know that too much of negative though can affect me mentally, and I know when it gets too much. You know what I'm saying? So, you know,
yeah,
I'll say that too.
Well, two more things, and then I'll go, Lewis. To your point about the uncatchable ball, it actually only works during a PI, not a holding call.
Okay, well then just don't make the call.
PI, then that's a different.
Then don't make that call.
The thing is, it was the right call. It was the right call.
No, it was an accurate call. It wasn't necessarily the right call. It was an accurate call. It was an accurate call. Right. Was it the right call to throw in that moment? That's debatable. That's the debate.
Then you could have thrown a bunch of flags on the Eagles' offensive line for false starts. Jesus Christ!
And I'm sure you could have threw
false starts that were.
Okay, and but I'm sure Alexander, you could call a bunch of holding calls on that offensive line, right? There's plays that can be called all the time. Okay. But this is I'll ask you, Alex, right? Because again, I know how you are. So let's be 100 out here. Don't lie to these people. If your Miami Dolphins are playing the game, so that's the call that happens.
You're breaking up a little bit, Lou.
You're breaking up, Lou.
I'm sorry. Can you guys hear me better now or no?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Alex, I'm just going to ask you real quick. If that was the Miami Dolphins that call would have happened to yesterday, are you singing a different tune this morning?
Alex?
Going once.
Alexander going once. Alex. Oh no, he just got back on. He dropped. All right, hold on. Let me bring him back on. Go ahead. Did you hear the question, Alex? Hello, Alex. Alex, man, do you have that Tua pay plan?
You see what happened, Steven? I asked him a tough question and he had to go. He canceled the interview.
I can't. Let me bring in somebody else out here. My man Rashad, Tua 2.0 in the building. What's up, Rashad?
Oh, finally.
The biggest capper. The biggest capper I know.
My bad, I forgot where I was. What's happening?
Yeah. What happened?
Man, y'all
put a shirt on out here? We don't want to see you without no shirt.
I'm about to go to the gym. Y'all being real egregious
out here with your shirt off and everything, trying to be like Babyface last night. Nobody want to see all that.
Come on, man. What's the problem with the call? Y'all want the referees not to make the call during the Super Bowl?
the correct call? Is that what we're doing?
I think
Yes.
Lewis is trolling with that answer. I think what Lewis would want to see, and I don't want to speak for Lewis, but I will. I think what Lewis wants to see is it just called the same way both sides. If that call had been called the entire game, it would have been less egregious at that point. They've been calling it the whole game. What do you want them to do?
Did you see it the whole game?
I think if it happens in the third quarter, it's also not that big of a deal. But it happened on the last drive of the game. Yep. And it caused the outcome of the game to be, whatever it is. So,
but you know how it goes.
People's gripe with it is,
if it's not called, the discussion is even worse. We got cheated by the referees.
No,
there was a whole
disagree.
The same photos will pop up.
But the entire game,
of the jersey.
And Rashad, the entire game, Rashad, they were saying there were some questionable calls here and there, but I'm glad the referees kept their foot. They let those boys play last.
No, you know the bad thing about it is the Eagles were doing that all game, and it wasn't called until the last.
That's what we're saying. That's exactly what we're saying.
Exactly the point.
Okay. So in basketball. Like, I'll take the Warriors, for example. If nobody else knows, they throw illegal screens all game. If you're going to the referees and say, keep your eye out for this because they keep doing it, and the referee actually catches it, and the referee sees it and says nothing, what's going to be the concept after the game? The referees weren't calling the holding penalty. They were holding us all game.
But so here's what I want from referees, and I want referees to be consistent. I know that there are some referees that will call more holding penalties than others because they just have to look out for it more, right? I know that certain referees will call more pass interference calls than others because they're looking out for it, right? And by the way, it's the crew. Those crews have worked together the entire year, right? So it's not just the referee, it's the line judge, it's the sideline, it's everything, right? So they all kind of work together and have this thing. Now, with the NFL, they kind of it's not a crew that works together. You get picked based on how well you done, right?
Yep.
So it's a little bit different when it comes to that, which, by the way, I'm not a huge fan of. I think that if you work as a crew, that crew should be picked for the Super Bowl, not you should pick out who had the best. That it's not an all-star game. No, I want to be consistent throughout the whole thing. I want to know that when a line judge calls something that the referee goes, I know how he calls. I believe what he says. Not, I haven't worked with you all year, but once in another thing. So I have an issue with that, but that's neither here or there. That's a totally other different conversation for another day. What I will say is when it comes to football, when it comes to, just in general sports, just be consistent. And for the 90% of the game last night, they were very consistent. They weren't calling a lot of things. They were letting a lot of things go. If it was egregious for the most part, they were calling it. They were. Now, let's go fast forward to the fourth quarter last night. It's a close game. It's one of the best Super Bowls we've all seen. We're excited. It's third down. They're in the red zone, or they're about to be in the red zone, whatever it was. They're on their side of the ball. They're on the other side. They're on their own side. They're on the other team's side of the 50 at this point, right? So that game or that call, although accurate, decided the outcome of how that game was finished because they knew the moment that call was made, the odds are Mahomes is going to go in and score a touchdown or a field goal, whatever it's going to be. And there's going to be less time on the clock. Where if they pick up that flag or decide not to call that or throw the ball on that field, they can say, well, that's what we called the entire game. It wasn't that egregious. There we go. So was it an accurate call? Yes. Was it the right call to play in that game? I personally feel I'm okay with it being called.
No.
I can see how other people like Lewis say, no, I get it.
Let me be clear. It was the right call. Did I have liked to see overtime? Yes. If he would not have made the call, I would have been perfectly okay. We're getting overtime. Y'all are going to get killed in the media. I don't care. Y'all get killed in the media anyway. But it was the correct call. We just seen this happen with LeBron James on that whole free throw thing.
Lewis's question is correct, Rashad. If it was the Dolphins on both sides, take it. They were.
I would feel completely different. I will feel. I will.
Well,
be
you see what that's all I'm
heartbroken.
saying.
That's the fan in me, though. That's the fan in me, though. Because
so can you imagine? So put yourself in the Philadelphia Eagles fan shoes this morning.
Right.
They had a quarterback who had a MVP game. He played out of his mind. There's no reason. If they played anybody else, they win that Super Bowl for the most part.
I agree.
Can I say one more thing to that, though? I would be pissed as a fan, but watching these Miami Dolphins corners for the last couple years, minus Byron Jones, we hold a lot. And I'd be upset when it gets called. I'll be upset with the player. I don't be upset with the referees. I'm honestly upset with the players. But if I would have seen something that soft, because we hold hard, our holds are clear. If I would have seen something that small, I'm like, you're going to call that over everything else that we did? This is what you're calling. So it works a little both ways. I will understand the call at the end of the day. Like, even Bradbury said it. He was like, yeah, like, I hold.
That's my thing. If Bradbury comes out of the booth game and says it was 100% a penalty, that's on me.
Like,
nobody else.
Hoping they didn't
nobody
call
else.
it.
There shouldn't even be that much more of an argument. And but see, the argument this morning should not be should the game have been decided by a referee call. The argument should be this morning: how do we make it that these situations don't happen in the future? Because it's not that it was a horrible call. It's referees are subjected on how they're viewed different. I think, I watched on Friday on our show. We watched the entire press conference of whatchamacallit. It was with Cameron. It was Thursday or Friday. We watched the entire press conference of Roger Goodell. 1 hour press conference. Not one time was there a hard ball hitting Christian, exception of one about what's his face? No, it wasn't even a concussion question. It was about African Americans in the newsrooms, and that that was the only hard hitting question. And the reason why I'm trying to think of who asked it. I know who asked it. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. But that was the one thing that was the only hard hitting question. They not once asked questions. Hey, should referees be full-time employees? Should referees have, how can we change the referee process in the NFL? There's so much money involved in the game nowadays, right?
It is.
Referees should be getting paid millions of dollars from the NFL and should be full-time employees because there's way too much money on the line for them for the integrity of the game for it to be anything different.
I mean, to be full-time employees, though, I will also say ain't no side jobs, ain't no school, all season you're studying. You're learning to make the correct call because, the NFL now has referees are the worst.
NFL now has a relationship. NFL now has a relationship with the XFL. XFL referees should be NFL up and coming referees, and the veteran referees should be there coaching them. They should be like
training them.
I'm here for that.
Absolutely,
I'm here for that.
100%.
Sure.
So, there's a lot of things that I want to see different when it comes to the process of refereeing in the NFL. But when it comes to last night's game, you're at the top. It's the Super Bowl. It's the biggest football game in all of the world. And you're going to get some human error. And human judgment. It wasn't even, by the way, it wasn't even an error. It was a human judgment call. It was a judgment call.
Yeah.
And at that point, but see, the point of the conversation is today when we're having this conversation between us three, right? We're talking about a referee judgment, whether it's a judgment call or not. They're the ones that decided that game yesterday. Because again, that if they don't make that call,
really, man, you can't. That's not fair to say.
Steven, after that call, hold on, Rashad. They took 3 knees, bro, and they kicked the field goal with 8 seconds. They didn't make another play. They had that one running play. The guy didn't score. He took a knee at the 2-yard line. And then after that, there was two. And remember, the Eagles were going to let them score the touchdown. He took a knee, right, at the 2-yard line. After that, it was 3 kneel downs and a field goal with 8 seconds. So how are you going to tell me they didn't take the game away?
But look, Lewis.
With that call, that ended the game. Period.
If they don't make the call, the referee still makes the judgment on the game. You get that, right?
But I get that, Rashad. But you see, the difference is this is the last game of the season. It's the Super Bowl. You let those teams, because again, they would have had an effect on the game. They didn't call the play, right? But okay, we all assume that Kansas City kicked a field goal. It's 38-35. Now you're getting the other team a chance to respond. When you make that call, you took that. The Eagles had no chance. That chance was taken away by the Philadelphia Eagles by that referee. You see what I'm saying? Come on, man. Like, no.
What about did the Eagles sack Patrick Mahomes last night?
Not one time.
Not one sack. And did Patrick Mahomes have a hurt ankle?
Yes.
Okay.
Could have fooled me.
So why can't we sit here and say, hey, look, as much as this, the defense for Philadelphia dropped the ball last night.
Okay.
100.
Okay.
They had plenty of opportunities to win that football game last night and did not do it. This is not on the referees deciding the outcome of the game.
I said it earlier.
It wasn't like you could say, oh my God, the whole night referees were just making egregious call after egregious call after egregious call. How can you make calls like that? It was a call at the end of the game that was an accurate call.
Right.
We're getting mad.
I like how the game was called.
We're getting mad at people being accurate.
That was a good Super Bowl.
Rashad just said the statement right there. Rashad said he liked the way the game was called. So
you said that. You even told me that earlier.
1,000%. 1,000%. So why did you make that call at the end of the game then?
Because you are going to get human error in a game.
That's part of it. That's part of it.
Bro, again, that human that made that call knows he affected the game. Period.
I mean,
and if we're gonna again, let's be real. If we're gonna be real out here, this is the show of the people, right? Bro, we already know there's rumors about the NFL. Sometimes it's crooked. It could be, there's a gray area and stuff. That call didn't seem to you a little wild? Just a little suspect that we're going to be real?
So Lewis, I like what Bobby Supreme said. It's a way to fix it. But before you're looking at it now, I think. I was going to wait I wanted you to answer my question before you looked at it.
Go ahead.
How would you fix last night? What would you do to fix so last night doesn't happen again?
My opinion, I know it's not going to be a popular one. I tell the referee, and especially in a game like this, we're talking about the Super Bowl. We're not talking about a week 3 matchup. We're talking about the Super Bowl.
Correct.
Within the last 2 minutes of the game, if again, in a moment like that, you got to swallow the whistle. I'm letting the referees know.
Wrong answer.
As a fan of the game. As a fan of the game, I get what
the moment. Hey, if you say that, okay, we can admit 2 things, Lewis. Number one, we admit that NFL referees that they'll make judgment calls, right? We'll admit that, right? What they might see different is what we see on TV. They have a different viewpoint, vantage point. They might see things differently, correct? So it's a judgment call, right?
Right.
I need you to say I 100% agree with you on that, Stephen.
I agree.
Okay. You also understand that humans make errors and that there is going to be some sort of error within any sort of anything. But when it comes to the referees, there's going to be some errors that happen. They're going to be wrong on some things, correct?
Correct.
Just part of what's going to happen.
Right.
So I like what Bobby Supreme said. The NFL needs to grant each team at least 3 flags that they can throw called a ref challenge flag. Need to be implemented in our game starting next year. I don't know if 3 is the right answer.
I mean, you still would have got the penalty. It still would have worked both ways.
I think that
still would have got the penalty.
I don't know if this is necessarily the answer, but I like in some way, shape, or form that I'm able to challenge a referee call. And then what should happen at that moment is it should then go to either A, the entire collective referee group that's there that night, or B, somewhere in New York where they have every vantage point in the world, or maybe a mixture of both, where they say, okay, this is how we're going to solve this. We're going to come up with a collective. We're going to look at this from all the angles. We're then going to, say, what did you see? What did you see? What did you see? Majority rules. And if majority of the referees and say, hey, look, we are saying that it was a penalty, then it's a penalty. The majority of refs in that moment say it's not, then it's not. I have no problem with something like that. And people say, it makes the game longer and it shouldn't do that. I think if you make just 3 straight flags that you're allowed, there should be 3 challenge flags that you get in a game, and you can challenge on anything, including judgmental calls. But if you get a judgment, maybe you get 3 challenge flags. But the moment you whiff on a judgmental call, if you get that wrong, maybe you're not allowed to, throw a flag on judgmental call again on just regular rules, whatever it is. But I like something like that.
With what y'all are saying, or mostly Lewis, this is a question for Lewis. That call, if they don't make that call, you know how the game look. Remember that pass interference? I think it was the second quarter. Like, was it a 2-minute? No, it wasn't a 2-minute drive. Bradbury tackled Juju before it was 3rd and 8. He tackled Juju before the ball got there, and Juju stood there like, it's not first down. There's no flag. And the replay, you see Bradbury holding his arm. Now, come 4th quarter, they bring that up. I mean, say they don't make the call, they lose. That's the talk of the media. The Eagles were holding and they refused to call the calls. Patrick Mahomes is throwing it at the receiver so the referees can see that this is going on, and they're still not making a call. I guarantee you, halftime, 3rd quarter going into the 4th quarter, whatever it was, they're holding Juju definitely. They're holding me. Do you not see? They're holding me. And Patrick Mahomes made sure it was seen. You seen the replay.
The problem with you saying something to the effect that we should pick up the penalty or they should keep their flags in their pocket is what you said. Is right. You open yourself up to the moment that it's an egregious call and they happen to leave their flags in their pocket.
No.
It's going to be you're opening up.
But you didn't.
We're
talking about a penalty that was actually a penalty. Imagine something that's egregious like pass interference that wasn't.
I get it.
You can't say that.
No. If it's egregious, if he would have grabbed, if that right arm would have been across his body and he would have impeded his motion where Juju wouldn't have been able to stop running, or he would have tripped him or something like that, yeah, you make that call because that's an egregious. Bro, look at the play again. Don't look at these still shots and just a photo when it looks like, he didn't tug at the jersey. The guy ran in and then ran out. Juju ran in and then out. He hooked him a little bit. It didn't impede the process of where he was going. And again, I don't care what it is. I think Alex said you can't call that play because an catchable pass doesn't get called. It's only on PI. It's not on holding. Bro, I don't give a damn what no one says. Juju wasn't catching that ball anyway. It was horrible, bad ball placement. It was in the back pylon in the end zone. Juju Smith-Schuster was standing at the 8-yard line. Bro, he's not running that down. You cannot make. I don't care what no one says.
Pat threw that just to let the referee see. He wasn't trying to hit Juju. That's what Brady and Rodgers do. They see a penalty, they throw at that receiver. They don't throw it to them. They throw in that direction. I don't want to throw an interception. I don't know if you're going to make this call, but you're finna look this way.
That's ridiculous.
You ain't never seen that before as the Dolphin fan? You never seen Brady do that. With Wes Welker. Wes Welker getting held, he's going to throw towards Wes Welker. He's not going to throw it to him because he's covered clearly because there's pass interference.
Rashad and Steven, I'll ask you a question, right? There's a guy that's in the mainstream media, Louis Riddick, that I've heard people in our fan base say that they would love to have Louis Riddick as our GM.
Be the GM. Yep.
Correct?
Yep.
So we would, with that statement, we would all value Louis Riddick's opinion, right?
I like Lewis's Riddick football knowledge. I think he's very smart and accurate.
Absolutely. I would agree. He was on Sports Center last night. He was at the game. He said it was a horrible call.
Okay.
He was a player for the Philadelphia Eagles. He was a corner.
I understand that. So that means there's bias.
Maybe there's some biasness in
there. No. He also played for the Raiders. Again, he's a football mom.
I get it. Okay, here's what I'll say. I'll say that. Hold on, Lewis. Have you not had an opinion about something? Maybe even seen everything. Went to bed that night. Woke up the next morning and said, "You know what? I feel a little bit differently about this. I slept on it. I feel a little bit differently." I'm not saying that Louis Riddick's going to change his opinion.
That's me
but I take everything somebody says the moment after an event happens with a little grain of salt, because people are emotional in that moment. People are they're hyped up. The emotions are still there. The dopamine is still there, right?
Okay.
Calm down, relax. Let's evaluate. Let's think about it a little bit, and let's come back at it tomorrow. And do you still feel the same way then? Then maybe I can have a debate or an argument with you. What I will say is, and by the way, he didn't say that it was a bad call. He said it shouldn't have been called at that moment.
Okay. What am I? That's all I'm saying.
But the fact of the matter is, 90% of the world says that was an accurate flag. What people are mad at is that it was called in that moment.
Okay.
That's what people are mad at. We're mad at an accurate call. I want you all to think about the logic of that, Lewis.
Okay.
It's not logical. It doesn't make sense to me.
Let me ask you a logical question, Stephen. If you're the referee standing on the sideline yesterday,
yes.
At that moment, do you throw the flag? From what you see, we're debating now if it was egregious or the right call. I get it. It was the right call. I'm asking you, Stephen, your opinion. You're the referee. You got that checker.
People are going to say that I'm a cop out with this, but I'm not a referee, and I don't look at the game from that viewpoint.
Okay.
Look, to be fair, I'll answer your question to you.
At that moment?
I'll answer my question to you here. I'll say that I don't know what I would have done in that moment. I don't know, because what I do know is that if I don't throw the flag and something happens, oh my God, the referee's called an egregious. He could have viewed it and said, no, that's a flag. But I didn't want to be the person that, called something in the last 2 minutes because we hadn't been calling flags the whole game. But then it could be, man, that crew last night totally missed that. It could work against you in the other way. You know what I'm saying? So I think I would rather the referee be as accurate as they can within the moment. And I think that the referee was accurate in the moment. He was. I'm sorry that it was in the last 2 minutes of the game. I'm sorry that it spoiled you not getting the overtime or potential overtime you so sorely wanted.
Well,
I'm telling you, it was an accurate call.
Let me ask you this, Stephen, with your statement about asking me, have you ever watched something and woke up the next morning and felt like, what do you think that referee that threw that flag woke up this morning to? And listen.
I'm sure it wasn't fun. I'm sure it was,
Do you think he's regretting throwing that flag?
I don't know if he's regretting, but I know that they're going to have a conversation about it, right? Right. I mean, look, I'm not a referee. I don't know what referee. I've told you all, I have a 9-year-old as of yesterday, and he plays Little League basketball. And so I got a chance to talk with the refs. And this past Saturday, I had a kid on my team who's really good. I love him to death. Kid's really good. And he just needs to listen more. He needs to calm down. He's very out there and needs to listen more. But his dad, who I like very much, got into it with one of the other coaches publicly during the game and got ejected out of the gym on Saturday morning's game. And so I'm driving home and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, man, that sucks, that whole situation happened. But I think about the referee, and the referee at a little league level, not even a professional level, gets so much, the stuff I hear at games of 7 and 8-year-olds, okay? 7 and 8-year-old basketball. 7 and 8-year-olds, the referees are getting killed. I can only imagine what they get on a professional level, especially when there's billions and billions and billions of dollars bet onto this game. I get it. But I also know that if you're not a referee, if you can't take it, you know what I'm saying? You have to be mentally tough to be a referee in today's world, point blank, even on a little league level. So do I know what he's thinking about this morning? No. But do I think he can take it? Probably. He wouldn't be a ref if he couldn't. So, it is what it is at this point. And, I don't know. All right, let me bring in somebody else to the conversation. Caslin, good morning, Caslin.
What's up, Kevin?
Good morning.
Kaz.
Good morning. How are you?
What's up, man? How are you?
Good, bro.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm
Floor is
good.
all
How are you
yours,
guys?
man. We're doing good, man. We're debating this morning. It's fun this morning. Tell me what's on your mind, man.
I've been killing Stephen D all morning, Caslin.
That's false. Don't believe him, Caslin.
Oh no, I'm happy I got the other guy out. So that's all I wanted to do this morning.
You wanted to kick Rashad off?
No. What was it? Ryan.
Ryan? Oh, you did get Ryan off
Yeah.
this morning. Ryan's my buddy. I think Ryan hasn't even texted me yet or gone back into the thing. So I'm going to call Ryan after and make sure he's good. Ryan's my boy, though. I like Ryan. I think that, and I don't want to speak for Ryan, but I'll say from a perspective of other people, and I'm not speaking for Ryan in any way, shape, or form. I think some fans are just sick of the narrative of just defending foolishness from a standpoint of why are we having a conversation about, let's say, Tua? Let's just throw in the name Tua for the sake of argument and conversation. And why does it always turn into an argument? And why does it always turn to the extreme? And why is it that this, and that? People just want to be like, I just want to watch the game. Or it's not, I get it's not all rainbows and buttercups, but it's not all thunderstorms and, the world's going to end either.
No,
Right?
his wasn't about Tua. His was he loves to bring up the whole flow situation. Like, give it a rest. Every time he turns around, it's the same thing. Always about Flores. Oh, you can't hire an offensive coordinator. He had Shane Gailey. What do you mean he can't hire an offensive coordinator that was good?
Well, hey, I'll say this, dude. I'll say this. Brian Dable was our offensive coordinator a few years ago, and I thought he was atrocious. I wanted him nowhere near the Dolphins organization. That man just won Coach of the Year. So am I wrong? You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, but I'm saying, yeah, but it's like they want to bag on him because he couldn't even tank right. Well, his integrity meant more than losing those games. He wasn't just going to tank just to tank. That's not who he is, and people are pissed off at him for doing that. Well, I'm sorry. I agree with Flo.
Here's the thing. People are pissed off at the Dolphins organization for that. Here's why. Whether you agree with the tank or not, that's whatever. You could be morally, have morals or whatever. What Dolphin fans are mad about is nobody can get on the same page in this organization. When we try to cheat or do something incorrectly or go about or tank, we can't even do that right. It doesn't matter. Nobody's on the same page here. And that's what fans are more mad at. You could say that you're, moral beliefs, whatever, BS. You're a fan. You at minimum, even if you want nothing to do with tanking or whatever. And by the way, Ryan's up here. I'll even let Ryan speak for himself. Go ahead, Ryan. Good morning, Ryan.
Hey, first, I just want to say the only reason I haven't got back on or anything to address earlier is because my headset died, so I had to go plug it in and let it charge up.
His headset died, Lewis. How convenient, Lewis.
Well, it died in the middle of crypto being on, so.
Hey, we thought you were running scared. We thought you were running scared like Tua did. We thought you canceled interviews out here.
I didn't feel like addressing crypto's nonsense with his Nazi allegations. That was beyond ridiculous. So I didn't care to speak at all, and I was fine with whatever on that. I didn't bring up Flores. Crypto did. All I brought up was the game against Kansas City from 2 years ago. I referenced that as being the Flores team. That's all I did. And then Crypto got on and immediately got on his. Flores is the greatest ever nonsense.
Well, he's better than McDaniels.
Maybe I'm wrong.
How do you know that?
Time will tell on that.
Caslin, that last comment, that's not fair. We don't know that yet.
Well, and maybe I'm wrong.
How do you not know that?
I could have sworn that Ryan
McDaniel coached 1 year.
Hold on. But Flores did more with less talent. If you would have given Flores this talent, that is no, it is true. If you would have given Flores this talent, he would be a hell of a lot better off than what he was finished as. So I don't want to hear that.
I mean, you say give him this talent, literally just adding one more player. Like he had Waddle.
No, it's not.
He just didn't have Tyreek. He just didn't have Tyreek Hill.
I just want to just adding one for the record. I hate these Flores arguments. I absolutely hate them.
I don't understand why y'all still want to talk about this man. He's not our coach anymore. We shouldn't give a damn. He's fired. He's gone. He's elsewhere. Why do we keep talking about this man?
Well, Ryan, but listen, hold on, Ryan. I'm going to be honest. And again, I'm not trying to call you, but you did say earlier, you are the one that brought up Flores because you said Flores couldn't build an offensive staff. He was garbage in that. That's what you said. You did say that.
I was saying that in reference to that Kansas City game and the fact that Tua went punch for punch with Mahomes in that game. And I was referencing the fact that that was an abysmal, and you cannot deny that was an abysmal offensive staff. I mean, that was our – what do we have? Four different people calling offensive plays that year with 2 offensive coordinators sharing the role? Like it was a joke of an offensive staff.
Okay, according to you. But why did we hire those 2 offensive coordinators?
Because Flores doesn't know what he's doing on the offensive side of the ball.
Wrong. Because neither does his mentor. His mentor's horrible on the offensive side of the ball.
I'm well aware of that.
Okay, but hold on. So he goes out and he's stuck with this kid who he does not like, who he hates, matter of fact, who knows he can't get the job done. And he goes out and says, I'm stuck with this kid, so let me go put him in an offense, put him in a situation that he had in college.
I thought his integrity was too good to belittle and stick with a man he knows not's good enough. I mean, that's why he didn't tank right? Because his integrity was too high.
Okay. So he's stuck with this quarterback that he's stuck with because they won't give him the one
because he didn't have a choice. But guess what? He didn't say anything until he was gone. We don't know who he wanted. We know what he claims after the fact.
He wanted Herbert.
Good for him. Herbert's not that good.
Okay, according to you.
According
to every other expert.
Every Dolphins fan.
Every expert.
I mean, I side with Acho, man.
Herbert is better than Tua will ever be.
Social media quarterback. I'm siding with Acho on that.
Herbert's in a league of his own. Herbert's arguably the best, if not the second best quarterback in that draft class.
Cool story. You think that Flores could have coached him up to what he's doing now? I doubt it.
I think he would have plugged him right into that offense with Chan Gailey, and they would have been fine.
Gailey didn't want to be around. He came back because he got begged to come in. Chris Greer brought him in to help Brian Flores. Flores was not the one who got him in.
That's wrong. Okay.
And Chan Gailey had already been retired for how many years? He literally took the job. He literally took the job purely because he knew it would be simple coming back in with Fitzpatrick, who he already knew how to work with.
Because Fitzpatrick knows how to run his offense, and he said, and I quote,
"That's the only reason he came in because he had a quarterback who already knew how to run his offense."
Tua cannot run the offense. He's not smart enough.
This is how I feel, though.
I don't know. I don't really know what would.
Are y'all finished? Have y'all gotten this out of your system yet?
Like, I just don't understand why you guys are so hard up to just keep begging for the Brian Flores. Who cares? He's fired. He's gone. He's the defensive coordinator in Minnesota. Go root for them if you're so hard up to root for Brian Flores. Give it up. No one cares. He's not on our team anymore. Stop. We have a head coach. Either good or he's not good. We don't know. He showed promise in his first year, but he showed a lot of growth that needs to happen as well. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the. We'll see what happens next year.
At this age. Damn, that's bad if Dolphin Don's getting into it.
I mean, I just don't understand why y'all are so
our entire fan
hard
base
up on
that.
him.
I love it.
I literally only brought him up to prove the point about our likelihood of being able to compete and beat Kansas City this coming season with a better offensive staff and better offensive skill players, and hopefully a better defense with Vic Fangio hopefully doing what needs to be done. Like, I don't know why y'all keep just digging it up. Go be a Viking fan.
Hey, Ryan.
Yes.
Tell me how you really feel.
I don't want to tell you how I really feel because I'll get booted for the swear jar.
All right. Is there anything else that you and Caslin both have before I let y'all go? Although Triple S wants to get in on this, and I got Dolphin Don in the back room too.
Man, I got on this morning
Steven.
And I really only got on this morning because I was so excited to talk to people to find out who wanted to come to camp and watch our man get in.
What's going on? What's going on, gentlemen?
Get him, Triple S.
I got one question. So Ryan is he's asking who cares about Flores, but you seem pretty audibly upset. So I would figure that you care, and you're also the one who.
No, I'm audibly upset that he keeps getting brought up.
But you brought him up. Just say that you brought him up when referencing the Kansas City.
Yeah, you brought him up because it was topical to the conversation. It was topical to the conversation
point.
Then
don't be upset that it was brought up if you brought it up. That's all.
I'm not upset that it was. I'm not upset that it was re-brought up. I'm upset that he's constantly brought up by guys like Crypto and Caslin, who constantly bring him up and
I don't bring him up.
And constantly attack McDaniel by saying Flores is
McDaniel. I don't think McDaniel's a good coach. Sorry, you might not like it. I don't care.
Hold on.
What happened this morning, Lewis? This is your fault.
Hold on.
I didn't do this.
Let me say one more thing to Ryan, and then I'll bring you back to where we wanted to be at this conversation, Steven. So Ryan, one more thing I want to say. So you're referencing that. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you brought up the whole Flores versus McDaniel offensive staff.
I'll bring on
Steven. I can't hear him, Steven. Hold on.
Man, how you gonna tell me like that?
How in the world you gonna get mad at me for using a reference to freaking the Reich, and you're gonna tell me, that you're gonna tell us that you're trying to alienate the fan base.
We're just gonna end the show.
You're trying to tell somebody to go alienate the fan base and go be a Minnesota fan. That's excommunication.
Crypto. Hold on. Crypto. Hold on.
Nazi sympathizers. I'm sorry.
Hold on. Crypto, let me say one more thing to Ryan. Ryan, let me say one more thing to you, man. Is Ryan still up here?
If people would stop interrupting you, yes, I'm waiting to hear what you have to say.
Perfect. So yeah, I just want to have a nice calm, just say one more thing, and then we'll get back to whatever we want to talk about. So when you say that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like what you were trying to say is that we went punch for punch with Mahomes and in the Flores era, and now we have a better offensive staff. So what's to say we can't compete better with them now than back then? Is that what you're saying before I continue?
That was the gist of the point I was making, yes.
Okay, and that's false because they ran out 30 straight points to us in a row. They ran out 30 straight points to us.
Bring him in, Steven.
They 30 straight points against us.
We're having a good
They toyed with us in that game.
Come on. Crypto, please.
Okay, Triple S. Okay, go ahead.
Y'all living in the past, man.
Because that guy's an idiot.
Y'all living in the past. Please stop.
All I want to say on that. So with regards to offensive coaching staffs,
this is all your fault, Lewis. Open it up.
I don't know how much better we can really say it is. We just fired an offensive line coach. I think we have better talent.
Every year. It doesn't seem to matter who. It doesn't seem matter who our head coach or front office is. We fire an offensive line coach.
But the point is, they was fired. He apparently can't keep an offensive staff neither.
Stop talking. We're in a conversation.
You stop talking.
We're in an intelligent, calm conversation, and you're running your mouth like a jack.
Yeah, you're running your mouth. Come do something about it, then, Ryan. You big and bad.
Stop with
Go ahead. So who you the Gestapo? So that's who you are now?
You two watched the greatest game ever from the Dolphins against the Ravens. 20 feet.
His premise on the Kansas City game was dead wrong because they scored 30 straight points against us. They was up by 20 points. That was a prevent defense. That was a prevent defense that they played against us, and they closed the game on a Tyreek Hill 4th down play. Stop it. They toyed with us in that game.
Coaching, Crypto. Come on, man.
They toyed with us in that game.
So hold on, Crypto. Hold on.
We're having a peaceful
Don't tell me they went toe to toe.
Stop.
Don't tell us they went toe to toe with Kansas City. That's nonsense. They reeled off 30 unanswered points against us in that game. Stop it.
So hold on. So what else?
So which is it then? Which is it then? We went toe to toe, or they railed 30 points against Flores' masterful
It doesn't
defense?
damn matter in 2020.
It doesn't fit your narrative that we went toe to toe with them. They toyed with us in that game.
It doesn't matter now.
Because we didn't go toe to toe with them.
Please help me out, man.
Come on, man. We were having
Well, come here to shut me up. I'm here. I'm here in the DC area. Come shut me up. You want my location? You want my Latin long?
31st and M Street. 31st and M Street.
Doggone, that's right.
31st and M Street.
Only to get some beer and hot dogs, Crypto.
Okay, but hold on, real quick while it's quiet. What I was gonna say, so even if you say, we always fire offensive line coaches, that you can't say that's an upgrade, and that's at least a constant. So where would you say the offensive coaching staff is better in significantly enough that it will help us, to now compete with the Chiefs? And one last caveat, the rosters for both teams are so different. That was 2018. Pretty much our entire defensive front is very different. They have a very different roster as well. But on top of that, the original question, outside of O-line, because like you said, we always switch O-line coaches. What's the better part of this offensive coaching staff than the one we had when we went, quote unquote, toe to toe with the Chiefs back in 2017 or 18?
I'll answer that. I mean, if anybody's watching the football game last night, I mean, it felt I was putting the Dolphins in the place of these other teams. Like, okay, well, what would the Dolphins do in this 3rd and 12? And I'd be biting my fingernails off to the bone, man, because oh shit, we're not going to make it. So a couple of little areas that we could improve on, I need to have more confidence in Tua. I need to have more confidence in the offense in general, because I feel like we're sporadic, man. And also the defense, we ain't stopped nobody, never stopped nobody. Ever until it gets down to the 10-yard line, and they bend, they don't break. Come on, man.
You're Dolphin Don. You do realize that Vic Fangio was a big part of what you seen last night from the Philadelphia.
That is not true. That is a false narrative.
That is not.
I bet if it would have looked good.
Oh my God! You wanted a man that just signed on 2 weeks ago as a coach to do something.
Steven, if
and that's the point,
really
Steven.
Good and shut
Steven.
the Chiefs down to 9 points, would you be
that's
saying
such
the
a
same
horse
too?
crap?
Oh, it was no Fangio. No. Would you be saying it then?
But hold on, this is the point right here. All year he's been an advisor. He hasn't been away. He hasn't went with the team. He hasn't traveled with the team. Nothing, right? He's just been from the comfort of his own home advising the Eagles, right?
That's fine.
All of a sudden, he gets hired. He travels with the team. He's been in all the meetings. He was there with them. It looked worse yesterday than they did all season. That's just a fact. That's all I'm saying.
Playing against Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, the best offensive team. Are you kidding me? Lewis, no, I'm not letting you get away with that,
hey,
bro.
It's a lot more good offenses in the AFC.
Does Miami play Patrick Mahomes next year? Will Miami, if we make the playoffs next year, assuming the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be in the playoffs, are we going to have to play Patrick Mahomes next year in the playoffs?
Yeah, we'll have to play him.
So then what are we saying? So then don't come at me and tell me, oh, he's playing Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, you're going to have to see Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs for the next 10 to 15 years.
Dre, why don't you get your ass up here, bro?
Whoa! Dre, I never said it.
I'm calling out Andrevius.
Andrevius said,
saying, man. He's over there talking about stuff, man.
Get him, Dolphin Don.
Get him, Dolphin Don. Get him.
Dolphin Don out here calling out Andrevius.
Hey, man.
Sorry, man. Hold on. Let me say one thing real quick, as I see a comment. If you want to highlight it, Steven, you can. It's Bobby Supreme's last one. And I know Bobby Supreme already probably knows where I'm going with this, but Couple days ago, maybe last week, Bobby Supreme also said that we shouldn't target any players on NFC rosters because we're in the AFC. So, Lewis, before you
Yes.
take any type of stock into what that man said, just keep in mind that he has that type of belief. So, before you take anything he says seriously, that man thinks that if you're in the AFC, you shouldn't target players on NFC rosters. Just to give you an idea of what type of football knowledge that man holds.
I do remember that Triple S. You spot on.
What you
He
hear me
did say
say,
that.
Triple S, I stand on my 10 toes. I don't listen to none of these idiots out here.
We know you got 10 toes. You don't have no toes missing, Lewis. You could have 9.
No, I got 10. I got 10.
Yeah, just making sure.
I'm a normal human.
Dolphin Don said my name. Hold on. We're here living dangerously.
Yeah, man. I'm hard like Stingers, man. I ain't worried.
Hey, but I was just asking a serious question. Like, I'm not saying the offensive staff isn't better. I'd have to look more into it deeply, but it's probably a better offensive staff. But I just wanted someone else's opinion, Ryan, who was up there, to just point out where he thought the offensive staff was better, so I could, take that information in, either agree or disagree. But, we definitely improved the talent too. So that's another thing that you have to take into account. Was it the coaching talent, or was it the imported talent? And Ryan also said we only brought in one guy. Oh, it's only a difference of one guy between Flores and McDaniel. This man, we brought in Tyreek Hill, we brought in Armstead, we brought in Connor Williams. Like, this is more than one guy. But anyway,
a whole new backfield.
Yep, backfield. Cedric Wilson. I mean, there's a whole bunch that they brought in. Yeah,
they're bringing in Tyreek Hill alone is enough gravity to change defensive coordinator's whole game plan against us when you got 2 speed threats like that. So this whole notion that only just bringing in Tyreek Hill, that makes a hell of a difference on somebody's offense.
And I believe in 2020, we scored more points per game than we did this year. So
we absolutely did. Those are the facts.
So, right. But again, so everybody wants to blame the coach that we had back then, and they keep on bringing him up like he's such a bad coach.
I don't know why, but I feel like I never hear anyone who holds kind of my opinion. I don't think Flores was, that great either. I don't think he was going to lead us to a Super Bowl, personal opinion. And I also, I struggle to see McDaniel doing the same thing. Maybe it's less to do with him and more to do with, who we have on the roster.
You think because they're only good on one side of the ball?
I feel like our entire fan base. I feel like our entire fan base is split into a group who thinks Flores was the end all be. He was going to be the Super Bowl coach, and McDaniel's trash. And then the other half thinks McDaniel's going to be the end all be. Flores was super trash. He ruined everything. I don't hear a lot of people who think, maybe Flores wasn't the best. He wasn't going to be a Super Bowl coach for us. But maybe McDaniel, he hasn't shown enough to where I'm going to get fully on board with him either. That's where I'm at.
Neither one really had a.
Well, he wasn't the best. He definitely wasn't the worst like they make him out to be. He's definitely not the spawn of Satan.
Exactly.
He's not the best, but he's definitely ain't the spawn of Satan like they make him out to be.
Right.
Flores was coming here
and never had a full chance.
The culture of how the team was playing, changing how the players were playing, and you had some people come out and they don't like him. I call them pansy players.
ACB 83. Why don't you come down here and shut us down? Why don't you come up here and shut us down?
See, that's that talk again. Controlling mass media. That's one of the 14 characteristics. He's trying to control the media when it comes to talking about the team.
This is CB 83 right now.
Time out. Never mind. I'm not even.
Them Twitter fingers hurting right now, CB 83. Them fingers hurting right now.
Let me ask Steven, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Right? When we were told that we were hiring McDaniels, right? Everybody was all excited, whatever. Oh, Debo's going to come, whatever. And he's going to turn this franchise into whatever. He's supposed to be this unbelievable run guru. He's the one who made Debo Samuels into Debo Samuels. Okay, that's what we were all told.
Allegedly.
Okay, since he's been on the Dolphins, okay, he's a shot caller. He's the person in charge of the offense.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see at any time that he ran either Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle as a type that he did with Debo Samuels?
Very
Not
rarely do we
once.
see
Good
Tyreek
point.
back.
Rarely, not even once. I
Not
don't think.
But they're not
Think
built.
about it.
No, you can't say not
They're
once.
different players,
We saw
though. They're not
Tyreek
built.
in the
They're not
backfield
built like
sometimes.
No,
Debo
yeah.
Samuel.
No,
But did he
Tyreek
run any
Hill-
of our receivers like that though?
Right. But hold on. Tyreek Hill
Have
can
no
do the same
receivers
thing
like
as
that,
Debo
though.
Samuels. Yeah,
Nah,
Tyreek can do the same thing.
That's cap. That's cap.
That's cap. That he's not like
Sheffield.
Debo Samuel.
That's cap.
No, he's not
They're
built
not-
like
they're
him,
not-
but
they're
but
not
he,
built
he
like
never
that.
tried to
Okay.
run him.
Hold on.
Tough guy.
While
Yeah.
Tyreek was on Kansas City,
Chiefs,
did he
yeah.
not run out of rounds? Did he not run
He did.
things?
But that's
Yes,
different
Okay.
than saying he
yes,
can
but
do
that's
what.
running-
No,
that's
don't say it's
than
different.
running like
It's the
Debo.
same
is
type.
different.
Yeah, no, it's the same thing. It's the same
Tyreek
type
chucking?
of place.
But they were
Patrick,
trying to
who's
tell
Tyreek
us that
chucking?
Tyreek was Debo before Debo. That was a narrative that was going on.
All right,
About-
but hold on.
Tyreek
This is what I'm
But
saying.
Tyreek Hill
He's
runs
supposed
Guys,
to
end around.
be.
who's
He doesn't
Tyreek
line up
chucking?
in the backfield and constant like Debo Samuels. It's a wrong
It's not the
narrative. That's
same.
wrong. It's not the
It's
same.
not the same.
Running an end around or a reverse is not like lining up in the backfield and having handoffs to you. Tyreek
Yeah,
Hill
but hold
can
on.
do that once or twice a game, but he's not going to do it. He's not the type of player of Debo Samuel. You cannot have that same offense or do the same things you did with Tyreek Hill. And again, I don't want, again, this narrative that we need Tyreek Hill to run. No, we don't. We didn't bring Tyreek Hill to be in
That's
here
not what
to
I'm
be
saying.
a Debo Samuel. We brought him in here to be a $30 million receiver and catch the ball, which he did very well for us
A
this year.
separation receiver, yes. But his job was to come in and win games.
But Tyreek Hill is not the reason we didn't win games. We're making it seem like Tyreek didn't come in here and do his job.
What I'm saying is,
no, he did his job. No one's saying that. He definitely did his job.
He won us a lot of games by himself, and I'm not saying he didn't. What I'm saying is, our coach is supposed to be this offensive mastermind guru, and he couldn't even use the offense or build the offense the way he had it that he was known for.
McDaniel. It's not McDaniel. No. I think he built the offense that he was going for. We're not a run first team. We're a pass first team. He showed you that. He did build the offense he wanted. Again, you're going to get me to say things that's going to label me a hater. Tua Tagovailoa held this team back. Not on the field, off the field, right? I'm not going to talk about Tua on the field. But if your starting quarterback is missing 5 games.
He needed to be coddled.
It's not even about being coddled. He just didn't play 5 games. He was not available for this team. And everybody's opinion is right. When Tua's on the field, this team has a better chance to win than when Teddy Bridgewater was a quarterback or Skylar Thompson. We can all agree on that. So then Tua did hurt this team. He did. Because he wasn't available.
That's no doubt, bro.
It has nothing to do with Coach McDaniel. We're blaming Coach McDaniel for something that, again, you can bring Jesus Christ down
because
here.
Because he threw 3 picks on Christmas Day, Lewis. He threw 3 picks, and then he said, "Oh, my neck, my neck, and my neck."
That has nothing to do with the coaching. That has everything to do with the player.
Yeah,
damn fan base.
Not being there and being inconsistent is the reason.
We always want to blame coaches and offensive line coaches, and the players have to play. That's it. I'm tired of blaming Flores. I'm tired of blaming McDaniel. We blame Applebaum. We blame Boyer. No. These guys are there.
No.
They don't do it well.
No.
Dolphin Don, what's up?
What is going on, Esther?
I just want to say this, Dolphin Don. Don't
Too
give
much,
Esther,
man. Just trying to be happy like your sunburst.
Hey, Dolphin Don, give Esther credit on his.
Get up on the screen, Damien.
I can't. I'm at work right now. I'm just listening to y'all real quick, man.
Damien.
Yo.
Give Estefan football credit. His football mind is absolutely great. But the man doesn't know anything about boxing. I want to let everybody
Damn.
You know he's about to dip out because he don't want to get murdered, man. We over here debating about that Laura and Alvarez.
Y'all make room for the coolest person on the panel, Damien. What's up, Damien?
Cheers up, y'all.
What up, Damien?
Salute.
Just got a good panel up here.
Crypto, all of y'all, Dolphin Don, all y'all. Salute, man. I just want
salute, man.
Quick.
Salute.
You know, Super Bowl was a great game last night. Mahomes, showed why he's the best player in the NFL, and Jalen Hurts really showed the world that he can beat you with his arm as well. man, just salute to that kid. Man, I love his leadership, his poise, how he can just shake off a negative play and bounce back. Man,
the mental part of this game, bro.
That dude is all work. Man, I just see the sky's the limit for that kid. And that was the only flag that was thrown on pass interference or defensive holding that whole game. I'm just saying.
Yep.
But,
it was.
Do it all night.
That was the only one.
They did do it
all night long. That was the first one.
Talk to him, Damien.
The defense at the end of the day jacked off that game, and Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy, who needs a head coaching job,
they what to the game?
Better
it's
play.
Time.
But I just want to talk about my fans real quick. I let the homie know this last night, man, so he know who he is, man. We us as Dolphin fans, you know, we made the playoffs this year, but we got the talent to be a Super Bowl contending team, like make it to the Super Bowl and possibly win one. But until we win the damn division, we gotta start with this Super Bowl window stuff. We ain't even won the damn division. We haven't won the division.
That's true.
We have right now. The goal is to conquer the division. This Super Bowl window crap. What window?
We ain't even opened the curtains.
Yeah, we haven't even opened the curtains. Right now, our biggest. And people can call me a hater. I get it as whatever it is. I root for the kid every Sunday when the Dolphins play. But the dude, Tua Tagovailoa, has not played, giving us a full season. Of course, he is the best option as quarterback. Whoever says that he isn't is crazy. And yes, he showed improvement over these last 3 years. He's drastically improved this season. But
hey, Damien, I hate to interrupt you while you're cooking, but before you move on to Tua, can I just say one thing about the Super Bowl? Because you just talked about that, and then I'm going to hop out, and you can keep cooking about Tua, whatever you're going to cook about.
Yes, sir.
So real quick, because y'all were talking, and I agree with what Steven said earlier to a degree, because you were saying, Steven, that it's the correct call, but people are kind of upset with the timing. And I think someone else I think it was Rashad brought up that there was a similar play between the two same players, Bradbury holding Juju, 3rd and 8 earlier in the game wasn't called.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, yes, the last call, ticky-tacky should probably be called, but given the gravity magnitude of the game and the fact that you didn't call similar plays earlier, I think you got to keep that one in your pocket and let the men on the field, decide the fate of the game. Give the Eagles another chance to have the ball.
Or is it a makeup call for that other?
You gotta have consistency throughout a game, especially late in the game, especially in a playoff game. But on that, I'm gonna head out, fellas. All of y'all be blessed. And
Back at you, man.
have a great week,
brother.
And
good, because we're doing
Triple S.
Make sure y'all let Damien keep cooking.
Way to get final thoughts.
No one jump in and cut him off.
Hey, quick. Salute to you, Triple S. I just want to add on to one quick thing.
By the way, I'm going to start a podcast that rivals his. It's going to be called Triple X. And I have an adult.
That's not what you think.
Leslie said you G-rated. Damn.
Before I get back on our Dolphins, I just want to say is the ref that called that was right beside Andy Reid. Andy Reid, politic and doing what a coach is supposed to do had a lot to do with that last call because he was in his ear, which that's what you're supposed to do. Not knocking that. I just disagree with that man call because that literally that determined the outcome of the game. It was the 3rd down. Kansas City would have had the punt. Philly would have had 2 timeouts with like a minute and 40 left. They scored their last touchdown within under a minute. So I mean, it caused it really determined the outcome. But salute to Kansas City. The defense. The defense still came up small in the second half, and Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, and Patrick Mahomes showed why they're that least.
Real quick, can somebody explain to me why Eric Bieniemy does not have a head coaching job anywhere?
The interview process. That's what they say.
I wish I could tell you.
It's they say he's a bad interviewer.
Apparently, he doesn't interview. Don't interview.
He's a horrible interviewer.
Hey, but I want to.
That's what they say. That's allegedly he can't interview well.
Yeah,
allegedly,
talk about the
allegedly. We're just going to sprinkle that in when we say allegedly. Go ahead.
You're right, man. Yeah, no. I was going to say for Damien, though, we've been screaming about the damn refs all
when they asked him what his sex was on the application, he says he is.
Okay, that wasn't. Go ahead.
I was just saying, we've been screaming about the refs all year long, man, and it's all been because of this new betting thing, man. I think we need better refs. That's a fact. I mean, not just the Dolphins. We need better refs across the league.
Because I agree with you, Dolphin. Also on this, y'all think of it like this. I get it was it was literally the right call, but it was the wrong place to make that call, and you've been letting them play all day. But for all those people that are taking up for that, imagine if it was the Dolphins. Imagine if the Eagles were the Dolphins.
That's what I've been telling them all day.
Y'all be wanting to crucify that referee. That referee could not come to the state of Florida or any state in the United States where they're Dolphin fans. That's a whole fact. And I'm a Christian man, but I'd have been feeling some type of way about that referee. That's a whole fact.
Absolutely.
So let's keep that same energy.
I'm a Christian man, but that man, he wouldn't have made it.
Let's keep that same energy,
bro. We could have had a more durable, more cerebral, real quarterback. Up until this point, I think Jalen Hurts is more cerebral.
Oh, he is. He's hands down clearly.
He showed that he could play. He plays the quarterback position.
Yeah.
And we still, in 50 years, have not won a Super Bowl, bro.
Clearly, we have to agree. And anybody, I mean, if you quote unquote a tour near or whatever the case may be, right now you have to agree that we drafted the 4th best quarterback in 2020. And God forbid if Justin, which I don't think Love is going to turn out to be anything, but
no.
Right now we have to.
He does.
And anybody who doesn't,
that's an indictment on our GM.
That's I mean, Jalen's 40's like what, a 4.5, right? So he's fast. But I mean, he's, for a quarter, that's pretty good for a quarterback. But I think with a quarterback, it's about the timing. Like if you know what you're looking at, you know when to run. There's plenty of times when Tua can run and he don't. You know what I mean? It's because he sees the field too late. When he does his reaction for running, it's just a hair. It's a little too late.
All right, we're doing final thoughts. We're doing final thoughts of the day because I can't deal with y'all no more today.
There's people out there still saying Herbert's no good.
I haven't even said a word. Y'all is too many people, Steven. I'm not in that circle.
I know.
Thank God.
Blame Lewis. Lewis said to open up the panel. It's all Lewis's fault.
Pete, what up, Pete?
What's up, homie? What's up?
Somebody time Lewis
Pete.
out.
All right.
Stop that, Pete. Stop that.
Hey, what's up, guys? Listen, I just want to leave my final thoughts, Steven, since it's final thoughts. My final thoughts, and I'm going to do it in like 3 different little things. Okay. Number 1, that was one of the greatest Super Bowls I've seen. Like me personally, that was one of the best Super Bowls I've seen. I loved every second of it. Number 2, I'm going to let you guys know why. All that cake you guys brought up with, you guys went to celebrate the weekend. Vic Fangio, with a more talented defense on his side, could not slow down a less talented offense in Patrick Mahomes in one of the most prepped and prepared 2-week games of his life. He could not help the Eagles win. Mind you, he has look, Steven, man, why you always do that, bro? Like, I'm just trying to get my final thoughts, bro.
Hey, man,
like, you stay. Like, I like you, Steven, but you
gotta let him cook. Hey, Benny, he's doing Benny Honda's, man, his Batman takes.
All right, I'll let him cook. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, so now we know Vic Fangio's a fraud because he just had the most talented defense and he couldn't slow down a banged up Mahomes and held him down to under 25 points. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this with everything I love. And I love all of you guys. But when I tell you, my gut has been right since Christmas Day. My gut has been right since Christmas Day. Tua was benched, and now we all know it.
Yes,
we all know it. Our owner of our team, our general manager that drafted this guy, our head coach that went through 750 plays with this guy, knew that he has to tell him who to throw it to. And it's just not taking us very far. We needed a quarterback that can play a pro-style offense, and Skyler was that at that time. And a lot of you, as each week goes by and more information we get because the locker room starts talking, are starting to make yourselves look a little bit like you owe an apology, and you need to be held for some accountability on some of those takes. Because, you know, that's how it just goes out here in the football world. Because, it goes that way. It really does. And, you know, the last thing I do want to say is anybody out here, and I heard you, Steven and Lewis, both of you are in disagreement, but both of you are good guys. Anybody out here that
Lewis
thinks
is an a-hole. I hate
that
Lewis.
was not a holding call on that third down, I'm going to sit here, okay? Look, I'm going to sit here and explain to you guys what happened. Mahomes, he was not under pressure. Juju did that inside route, broke Bradbury on a whip route, and he had to be held. The reason why Mahomes went there so quick on that third down is because he identified that hold. He saw it. He pointed it out. He knew he was going to get that flag. That's the difference. That's where people need to understand football. This is almost like Aaron Rodgers rushing up to the line, knowing he's going to get that 12th, knowing he's going to get that 12th defender on the field and an easy flag. I'm trying to tell y'all that call was a perfectly perfect call. James Bradbury held, broke his route, because if he didn't slow down Juju, I promise you that is a walk-in touchdown by Juju. That's exactly what it will be. And if you watch football through a football lens, that's exactly what you will see. I promise you.
That's a damn good point, and y'all got to give him credit for that. That's Pete.
All right.
Every now and then Pete says some good stuff.
Hey, Pete.
Right, but you don't make that call.
Hold on, Debian. Pete, you there? Pete.
I'm here. I'm done.
I love you. Pete, I love you. I expected I love you back.
Oh, I have muted myself. I'm listening. Wrong, I love all of you guys. I'm just saying, I went all over Twitter. You got Eagles fans breaking TVs, blaming it on that penalty. No, Patrick Mahomes' awareness is just that good. Okay, that's how good this guy is. It's unbelievable that they will try to take. It's not a horrible call, bro. I know. I play corner, bro.
He barely even touched him.
You cannot.
He barely grabbed him.
Okay, man.
He like a fraction of a second grab.
See, Crypto. He felt for that inside whip route. He was done from that standpoint. He was done. He was cooked. Once Juju cut it back, that's it. He was done. That was a walk-in. If it wasn't for that little hold and slow down, I promise you, it's a walk-in.
He threw the ball in the end zone, Pete.
Oh no, it's not. Oh no,
he knew it.
The ball was uncatchable.
You're not seeing it through a football lens. That was a rush throw to get the penalty. Oh my God.
That's a horrible throw. You shouldn't make that call. I don't care what none of y'all say. Y'all know it. It was a horrible call. You know it. Everybody knows it.
You don't make the call. I get what you're saying. You're right about what you're saying, but you don't make that call, especially when that call wasn't called the whole game, especially when that happened in the first half of the game.
Pete getting the glory for Rashad takes. Andravia said. All right, Pete, get out of here, Pete.
I'll go next. I'll go next, man. Look, real quick, y'all, when it comes to the offseason free agency and this draft, just put your hands over your eyes and cover them. Like the 80s, like when you remember PG movies, all of a sudden the lady would pull out the boobs and then your parents would tell you cover your eyes, but then you open and you would peek. That's what you got to do the off season with the Dolphins, man, because they just don't know what to do, man. So that's it. I'm out. Later, y'all.
Peace. He said, peace on you punk bitches. I'm out of here. Bye. Get out of here. Peace. All right, Crypto. Final thought of the day, Crypto. And Crypto.
What, Steven?
Be brief.
Got so many things I want to say to you, Crypto.
I'm just saying when you sometimes you gotta fight fire with fire, Steven, when it comes to these Juniors.
You and Ryan deserve to. You guys watched the greatest comeback in Miami Dolphins history, and now you guys can't be in the same room with each other. I'm disappointed.
Terrible.
Because I like both of you.
No, that's not it, Steven. I just can't let certain things slide, and then they want to continue to gloss over the obvious.
I hear you, but look, you think
me being an analytical guy, and you get certain wrong like that, and you try to make it as fact, it gets underneath my skin.
And
like the Kansas City game, it was totally different. People don't look at the full scope of that game. They toyed with us in that game. That's like when a basketball team runs off 40 unanswered, then you come back in the last 2 minutes and reel off 25 unanswered. You still lose the game. Now you want to say you going toe to toe. No, that's not how it works.
Okay.
No, they toyed with us in that game. They did whatever they wanted against us at will.
Go talk. Do your final thought. I'm over it, Crypto. You and your hot dog.
To answer your early question, these two teams that played yesterday, Steven, we're not close. I would say the top 7 teams, playoff teams this year, we're probably not even close.
You do realize that we lost by 3 points to the number 2 seed. You do realize that, right?
Yeah, but they're not all that neither. They was falling apart at the end of the season.
Literally said the top 7 teams in the playoffs were not like. Yes, we are.
Okay, yes, you think so? You think so? That's what you say, Steven. Okay, you get consolation prize by getting within 3 points to the Bills when they just got destroyed the week later. How close were we really? I mean, that's just a consolation prize. I don't take consolation prizes. It's Super Bowl or bust with me, Steven. Super Bowl or bust. If you don't win the Super Bowl this year, the rebuild is an abject failure. It's a failure. You got to hit the reset button and do it the right way. You got to do it the right way. You got to rebuild the right way. Go get that guy under center and then start building pieces around them from there. That's how you do it. That they showed us these teams in the last couple of years already showed us the blueprint. Greer needs to swallow his pride and start playing copycat. And then he'll get us there. He'll break our slide. He's just got to swallow his pride.
Cap for Life says, keep fighting the good fight, Crypto. We out here, brother.
I agree with
I know Cap for Life.
Crypto, get off of my show. I'm over you, Crypto, today.
Listen,
you're disappointed me today, Crypto.
You didn't send me my dough. I won. Didn't I win like a few boxes yesterday,
No,
Steven?
you didn't. You sure didn't.
Oh, it's definitely rigged now.
Nope.
You now you have a rigged box pools.
Coolin Heat won the halftime. What's his face won?
You had 7-7, 14. So you had 2 4s, 2 7s. You had a 1 and a 7 in the third quarter, and then you had a 5 and an 8 at the last quarter.
Oh, Curtis, our New Breed won. Curtis won.
What?
Curtis
the last quarter?
He won the third quarter.
So nobody won the fourth quarter. Nobody was 5 and 8.
Who won?
I had box 58, right? You know that, right?
Yeah. I don't know. What was the final score?
38-35.
Yeah. So Danny S won the final one. Danny S was sent to me by another listener to get in the box, so I don't know who Danny S is. I've never met Danny
Steven. Nah, he never.
But I had 2 of my listeners, man. So I was happy about that. Let's go.
Yeah, that's good. Somebody bought a gazillion boxes. Hopefully, they won something.
Get off my
Steven, good show. Good show, Steven. It's all your fault.
It's all my fault.
I know the 2 apologists that don't really care about Dolphins football. I know I hurt their feelings with the terminology this morning, but they're gonna have to get past it. But it is what it is, Steven. You had a great panel today. You had a good show. Lewis,
Some would argue. Some would argue I had a horrible panel today.
Damon D's.
It's a great panel.
Oh yeah.
Great panel.
No, this is a great panel. It was great. It was good.
Panel.
Always remember, Stephen D. Before I leave, remember my photo picture in my. Remember my photo picture in my icon. We have built this team inside of a 15-story elevator shaft with a glass floor. It's going to break. It's just a matter of time. That floor you see is going to break.
Bip Bop, there are no results.
Just like Estefan's boxing takes. Just like Estefan's boxing takes are horrible. Crypto has horrible basketball takes. I just wanted to throw that out there as well.
Oh, stop it. You're better than that. You know darn well Victor Wembanyama is coming to take the lead by storm. He's going to average about 35 points a game, 10 rebounds and 7 assists, and 8 blocks. You heard it here first.
This man, Crypto said, and Crypto, you're going to get out of here. This man said that kid that he just talked about, that 7'2", 7'3" kid, has a better crossover than Allen Iverson. That's what Crypto said.
No, I said it. I said he has a crossover like Allison. I said it was better.
Better than AI. Get off my air. You can't talk about trash about Allen Iverson. Don't you dare talk trash about that man.
No.
You think I'm a LeBron James fan? Boy, I love me some Allen Iverson, boy.
I was ashamed of my man Crypto when he said it.
Hey, Lewis, we talking about practice, man. Yeah. We ain't talking about the game.
I don't know what they talking about. Yeah,
we talking about practice, cuz. We talking about practice. The game that I give 100% to. We not talking about the game. We talking about practice.
Practice.
Damian, final thought of the day.
Man, salute to everybody, man. Salute to all y'all. Dolphin Don, Lewis, man. Of course, you, Stephen D, man. Everybody. Crypto, man. Love you, brother, but that's crazy if you made that comment. But
just disappointed in Crypto today.
And like I said, man, we got to win the division first. Hopefully, if Tua's gonna be our guy next year, well, I want to know about this 5th-year option, man. What they're gonna do? That's gonna be telling, because everything that we've seen in the past, they don't have a lot of confidence in them. They done tried to pursue every quarterback that you can name. So we'll see about what they're gonna do with the 5th-year option. Hopefully, he can have success. It's just with these dudes that we see at the quarterback position right now, the top teams, what the quarterbacks we saw on Championship Sunday, minus Brock Purdy. San Francisco has a complete team, but it shows you got to have that guy at quarterback. And especially the quarterbacks in the AFC, the young quarterbacks, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, etc., and of course Patrick Mahomes. You need that dude at quarterback, man, and at least we can mimic that 2015 Denver Bronco no-fly zone defense and have a special teams of the Chicago Bears in the 2005-2006 season with Devin Hester. That's the only way I can see where you can have a top 15-ish to top 12 quarterback and win a Super Bowl against these type of quarterbacks in today's NFL, where you have to have this elite quarterback. You better have the number 1 defense and a top 3 special teams to be able to make up for those type of things. And I just don't see it. Like, man, sad to say, it's 51 years and counting. Man, I just don't, as much as it hurts me to say, I just don't see it. I mean, everything will have to fall in our favor, and it just don't work like that all the time in life. So hopefully I'm wrong. I want to be wrong about Tua. I hope I'm wrong about Tua because I love the Dolphins. Like, I just don't see it. Man, when the season starts, Stephen D, just let me know, man, what's up with the Commanders game and the Baltimore game, because I will be there.
Hey, man, look, I'm glad you said that, because we going ham, man. The FedEx takeover, the Philly invasion, and the Baltimore beatdown. We gonna be out here.
Now, I got my dad and my wife going. They diehard Commanders fans, so we're gonna give them a hard time. Give them a hard time.
They can get this takeover.
Look, we gotta give them a hard time though. Give them a hard time.
That's all right. Hey, look, they family. Look, it's gonna happen. Hey, Damian, if you could do me a favor before you leave.
Yeah.
Let these people know how important it is to donate to the channel and how big it is and how important it is.
It is so important to donate to this channel, because donating to this channel gives the opportunity for the channel to grow. Stephen D can put into things like giving the viewers prizes and things like that. You know, it helps out with getting more like technology and stuff like that for the channel, so the channel can look even more spectacular for us to see and for us to be a part of on an everyday basis. So donate to this channel so this channel can grow even more and be worldwide, because it's worldwide Dolphin fans. Salute to everybody. Salute to my guy, Stephen D. Salute Lewis. Salute Dolphin Don. All my Dolphin fans. Even if you're 2-0, salute to y'all because you're all Dolphin fans. Salute.
I love you, Damian. You're the man, bro.
Guys.
All right, Dame.
All right, fins up, y'all.
Fins up, brother.
Yep.
And Dolphin Don. Final thought of the day, Dolphin.
Well, I got a couple things to say, man. Everybody sort of glossed over the fact that starting as of today, like I was telling CB83, the Dolphins are officially back in the playoff race. Just saying. Hey, it's a new season.
The season's over.
Yeah, it's over. Today's the day.
Dolphin Don's looking at the glass half full, Lewis.
Half full. That's it.
More like Dolphin Don.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And also CB83, man, you do.
Dolphin Don is out here capping. That's what Dolphin Don is doing.
Don't pay me like that, Lewis. Well, what I was gonna say though, is I you know, and also CB83, you remind me so much of Chris Rock and CB4, Cell Block 4. Does anybody? I'm probably the only old person that remembers that.
We know Cell Block 4. Come on now, Lewis and I both know that movie. That's a really good movie.
Yeah. But I always think of Chris Rock whenever I see CB83. So anyway, what I was going to say though,
I don't know if you take that as a compliment or
it's just out there. I'm going to say it like that. But what I was going to say is, you know, we're all talking about Tua with these interviews and everything, and I'm not a Tua near, I'm not a Tua far, but I will say this: his first language is Hawaiian.
Oh, I see what you did there. 2 near and 2 far. Took me a minute to catch on, but I got it. I got it. That was good.
See, a little something. But but you know, his first language is Hawaiian, and these guys are coming with these crazy ass questions like that. He's like, you know, he's taking a minute to process it, because growing up in Hawaii is not like growing up in South Beach. It's not like growing up anywhere in the continental. So he's trying to process a lot of things at once there. So I could see why he would say, you know what, I'm through with interviews today. You know, so I could. That's my thought process on that right there. Like I said, you know, it's just like neither here nor there, but something to kind of think of. And
hey, look, I agree with you.
So that's just me keeping it real. And hey, man, fins up to everybody, man. Like I said, we're back in the race right now, man. And hey, we don't know what Fangio's going to do or don't do, but I got optimism, man. I got a good vibe. And also, I think McDaniel. I think he's got Sam Madison, man. That right there won me over. He got Wes Welker. He got Sam Madison. Hey, I'm all in. You know, hey, Flores was good, but it's over.
That's the way to look at life, Dolphin Don. I love it. You and Nando, just two of the most positive people in the community. I love both of y'all. You the man.
That's how it goes. Fins up. Salute to y'all.
Salute to you, Dolphin Don.
All right.
Dolphin Don.
Real American hero.
Hey,
we
do what I can.
You, Dolphin Don. The most positive Dolphins fan out there. Real American. I'm sorry, I just had that in my
man. Come on. All right. You need angry Dolphin Don is what you need, right?
Angry Dolphin Don. All right, be good, bro. All right. I guess I'll give you a final thought. I don't know why.
It was a great show. What do you mean? This is
okay.
what this community needs, Steven. It was great.
It was almost 4 hours, and no, you know, a couple of donations, nothing big, and just just only 60 people in the room. I feel like we lost viewers we lost viewers because TD went live. I'm not gonna lie, but anyways, I love TD. I'm just saying, it was an okay show. It wasn't a great show.
It was a great show, Steven. Listen, I enjoyed myself. I enjoy my stuff every time I come up here, debating, arguing, agreeing. Bro, this is what it's about. I love this.
Excellent show, bro. Cat for Life
Excellent
says.
show. You see what I'm saying? People appreciate it. We can't
All right,
just sit out here
if
and
maybe two more people say that in the chat, I might believe you a little bit. A little bit.
Well, we got a bunch of haters in this community, Steven. You already know that. A bunch of haters out here.
Hey, no, what's a hater? I've never used that term before a day in my life. I don't know.
Sure, you have. You call me a hater on every show.
I would never. Colin says great show, like it. Kane's 1999 says good show. See, it's not great, it's good. Colin says great show. He said good show as always, Steven. Steven, I'm still here. Love this show. Thanks for all your hard work, Stephen D. Bobby Supreme says.
And
all right,
okay,
show. I guess that's good enough.
It's a great show.
All right, man. What you got coming up on the horizon?
Just check me out on the Fence Tailgate. Want to shout out those guys. And again, donate to this channel, donate to the Fence Tailgate, donate to Steve, TD, and all the other content creators that's out here, bro. Because again, it's not, I know the hard work that El Capitan Color and them boys at the Fence Tailgate that we all put in over there. I know the hard work that you put in over here, Stephen D. So again, donate to the channel, hit the like button, because again, bro, Stephen D doesn't have to wake up on a Monday morning and do this show, or Monday through Friday for that matter, and come out here. But he does, because at the end of the day, I do believe that Stephen D does love all of us, and he does give us a platform. So again, but this is what this is about, whether you agree or disagree or whatever. Because, bro, I've argued with all kind of people, this man included. But on Sunday, when I'm at Hard Rock Stadium and he's doing a show, he gives me the mic, gives me an opportunity. We hang out.
I get up and I'm like, y'all take over. This is y'all's show. This is the people, the people's.
1,000%.
It's a people show.
Bro, it's great. So, it's, again, Stephen, before I get out of here, I know you're busy. I just want to salute you. I always appreciate you. You know my feelings towards you. And again, always my pleasure. Anytime you bring me up, yeah, again, you're a real one, Stephen, and you got a friend in me, bro. So I don't care what all these other people say. You got.
Noob said it was a mid show. Lewis did his best to carry it.
Well, hey, I like to stay humble, Noob. I'll just let other people say. I stay humble.
See, as the truth comes out, Noob does set it, put it out in the universe. Huh?
They say you're holding me back, Stephen.
I mean, that's probably true. I mean, there's probably nothing truer than that statement. I love you, brother. Keep doing you. And guys, go listen to him on that other network. Those guys over there, those TFTG guys, those Fizz Tailgate fellas. Make sure you guys go check him out over there. I love you, brother. Be good,
man. Later.
Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show. Clock Blockers. I hope y'all enjoyed it today. It was a good one. We went till 1:30. We went almost 4 hours, 3 minutes, and 47 minutes. Donate to the channel. That's all I know. Please donate. If you like today's show, donate $100 right now. If you like today's show, donate $100. If you hated it, don't donate. If you hated today's show, donate $5. If you love today's show, donate $100. We're going to see what happens. We'll see what happens. No. Look, I enjoyed today's show. It was a lot of fun. We'll see what happens, man. Tomorrow is Hot Take Tuesday with my man Nando Talk. Should be good. Should be. So Nando and I will hang out tomorrow. That'll be a lot of fun. Wednesday's Wildin' Out Wednesday. I guess we got a little preview of that today. Thursday, Hot Take, or Thursday, Throwback Thursday, and then Friday, Spread Kindness Friday. Yeah. Next Monday, I don't know if I'll be on next Monday. But yeah, we're doing the thing. We're having a good show. Hope you all enjoy the content. We're going to keep it coming out. I got some baseball stuff next week coming up, which I'm excited about. Some NAS. We'll try to get some NASCAR involved in some baseball because I love baseball and I love NASCAR. Talk a little bit about that on the show. So I'm sure there'll be nobody watching. But yeah, we'll do that. We'll keep up with the NBA playoffs. We're going to do stuff for March Madness. And we're going to try to do everything we can to help keep the channel growing, keep the money coming in, the donations. And yeah, they're big, man. I need y'all to know how important it is when y'all donate. And it helps the channel big time. It helps me to be able to do this and just understand that. So, all right. I love y'all. We'll see y'all tomorrow right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Clap blockers, clock blockers, clock flip floppers. Love y'all. Peace.
To a time, time to grind, time to shine. To a time, to a time, to a time.